right, good morning and welcome to the AM show here on the Joy News channel. It's yet another day where you and I have to put Ghana first and to talk about how Ghana can progress. Now this is how we're going to start this show. We'll start it off with a news review where I'll be joined by a member of our Joy News political desk, Samuel Mbura, who will be joining me for us to review what the papers are reporting this morning. And then today is the day the Black Stars will engage in that penultimate AFCON qualifier. Muftao Nabila Abdullah will be bringing us the latest on that game on the AM Sports. And then we'll talk about Habitat Fair. For the young Ghanaian middle class, once you get a job, you think of buying a car. And then you acquire a home. However, the home acquisition is often challenging. First, do you buy a house or you build your own house? In building your house, you need to think of a land and then the construction of the house, which is not easy, not at all. But with the cost of rent rising by the year, the question of home ownership is key today. So what do you go for? Affordability, comfort, or luxury? At what stage do you go for affordability, comfort, or luxury? We'll get through all of that as we get ready for another clinic for this year's EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair. We'll host some sponsors on the AM show today. Today, headline sponsors EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank, are our guest this morning. So stay with us as we go through, how you can finance your own home. Now again, government has commissioned an automated Premix for dispensing and monitoring system to transform Ghana's fashion industry. Industry players hope this will end an era of corruption, diversion, and other inefficiencies prevalent in the Premix for supply chain. We'll delve into this. Now, also on the show, we'll talk about the Ghana Publishing Company, which has seen some improvements in its fortunes. Our guest will be David Asante-Boateng, Managing Director of the Ghana Publishing Company today. And then we'll tell you about the Mampon Technical College of Education, MAMTech, and how it's shaping Ghana's educational landscape. And then after that, we'll let you join us with your thoughts via phone or social media on the issues that we'll be talking about here on the show. And that's how our show will be like. My name is Samuel Kojo-Braze. As always, I'm just a voice representing a team led by Derek, Echo, Sam, and Kingsley. Well, and that's how it will be. So on behalf of the team, please, a warm welcome to the AM show. Up next is the AM News. Stay. Balloting for spots on the ballot paper in the NPP flag-bearer elections has been postponed. This follows an inconclusive meeting between the Elections Committee and the four aspirants. The parties failed to agree on a proposed guideline for the elections slated for November 4. Spokesperson for the Elections Committee, Alexander Afeomakin, said they hope to resolve the issues for balloting to be conducted.
We have also received the withdrawal letter officially by Honorable Chairman, and the party has accepted the withdrawal without prejudice. At this point, we as a committee would like to again remind all party members that this is an internal contest. There is no loser, there is no winner. We need to put our house in order to face the NDC come 2024. So we would urge party members to help their own party by way of their conduct. So far, those who have concerns have brought the concerns to us. Mr. Chairman, for the time being, hasn't said he's not a member of the party. He hasn't said so. So now that we've received his withdrawal letter. We will now wait for him to bring us some additional information, if he so desire, to furnish us with additional information regarding some of the concerns that he has raised.
To other stories, and the absence of functional neonatal intensive care unit is a cause for worry to quality healthcare delivery in the OT region. This is according to Dr. Osei Afre, the OT Regional Director of Health. As of half year 2023, the neonatal mortality rate is 3.6 of every 1,000 live births. Now, the situation health service providers in the region believe is high. Peter Seno has more in the following report.
Neonatal mortality rate also increased from 1.2% in the half year of 2022 to 3.6% during the same period 2023. It means when our children are born, within the first 28 days, they die.
It used to be the fight against maternal mortality, but now it is neonatal mortality. The current neonatal mortality rate of 3.6% of every 1,000 live births is attributed to the non-availability of functional neonatal intensive care units at the various health facilities across the region. Currently, the supposed regional hospital, Rara Government Hospital, has only one functioning incubator and a baby warmer to take care of newly born babies with health complications. Dr. Osei Afre is the OT Regional Director for Health. He has been speaking at the 2023 half-year performance review meeting.
One of our challenging areas, as you are mentioning, is high neonatal deaths that we have seen this year, which is very, very worrying, with many of the deaths occurring within the first 5 to 7 days after the babies have been born. And our analysis have shown that we don't have proper neonatal intensive care units, or which we call NICU. We don't even have incubators in the region to be able to incubate or help babies who are premature and they are born.
He is appealing for support to remedy the situation.
So we are pleading that we need NICU. At least 2 or 3 or 4 of our hospitals should have a very functional NICU with all the equipment, the infant warmers, the incubators, and a few other gadgets that will really help. But the region needs an ultra-modern neonatal intensive care unit to help manage the neonates.
Also affecting quality health service delivery in the region is the non-availability of regional medical store. The OT region continues to depend on the Volta region for its critical medical supplies. But how is this affecting quality health delivery in the region? Dr. Afre explains.
Unfortunately for us, we don't have a medical stores, and we are still relying on the Volta regional medical stores. And you all know the distance from OT to the Volta. Imagine somebody crossing the OT river with a pontoon all the way from Ketekrachi, going all the way to Volta region to get medicines. We have a system we call the last mile distribution. But unfortunately, even though it's working, we are not able to get all the medicines that we need. So the availability of medicines to manage all our health conditions is becoming a challenge. So
Mrs. Eva Mensah is the Director, Nursing and Midwifery for Ghana Health Service and a parent to the OT region. She says the departure by health workers for greener pastures is worrying and affecting health delivery, although figures are yet to be collated on the numbers that have left so far.
We are losing nurses for greener pastures, and currently midwives have also joined to the diaspora for better conditions of service, I would say. International markets is looking for experienced nurses. They are looking for nurses who have specialties. So those who are going mainly are experienced, they have specialties. Some of them are as high as principal nursing officers. Some of them are even deputy directors, and they are leaving for greener pastures. So it is worrying. I wouldn't say we have data on its effects now. What I can say is that it's really affecting health service delivery.
Also affecting quality health delivery in the OT region is the continuous absence of a secondary referral facility in the region. Peter Senu for Joy News.
Now, over 120 toilet facilities are expected to be handed over to public basic schools in the Greater Kumasi metropolitan area in November this year. The initiative under the Sanitation and Water Project is to improve access to toilet facilities at the over 1,000 public primary schools in the region. There's more in this report.
Accessibility to convenient toilet facilities still remain elusive to many communities across the country, especially in schools. A 2017 report by the Ghana Education Service showed more than 7,400 public basic schools out of the over 20,000 lacked toilet facilities. Out of the number, nearly 1,500 schools in the Ashanti region are without toilet facilities. Under the Greater Kumasi Metropolitan Area Sanitation and Water Project, over 120 toilet facilities have been built for public basic schools in the metropolis, awaiting commissioning in November. Engineer George Esiedu is the project coordinator of GKMA Sanitation and Water Project.
A number of the schools in Ghana do not have access to improved toilet facilities. And if we are to achieve SDG 6, we need to ensure that everyone living anywhere have access to improved toilet facility. In Kumasi, we are about to hand over all the 129 facilities. We are almost at the point of handing over. All of them will be finished by November 2023. And so we don't want to wait for the facilities are handed over before we begin to think of how to maintain and operate these facilities.
Mr. Siedu says the new facilities have user-friendly features for the physically challenged, among other consumables to support girls during menstruation.
Our facility, we describe it as gender-friendly, gender and disability-friendly. So within the facility, we have a girl-child changing room, where the girls at the end of the month, where they have to, when they have their menses, they should be able to have access to a facility that they can conveniently change themselves and clean themselves. It is part of sanitation. And so menstrual hygiene management, it is part of sanitation. And then we've made provision for the physically challenged.
To ensure sustainability and maintenance of the facilities, the Ministry of Sanitation and Water Resources held a 3-day stakeholder forum with school management committees and parents-teacher associations in the metropolis. Program Manager at the Sanitation Ministry, Charlotte J., is advising a strict adherence to maintaining the facilities.
If they don't have toilet facilities in their schools, 5 days that they are menstruating, they will not come to school. So it defeats the purpose of girls' education and girls' empowerment. And if we have the facilities and we are not able to keep it or maintain it to stand the lifetime of the facility, then it becomes a challenge for the school. So what we are saying is that governments have a responsibility. The assemblies have to play their part. Parents have to play their part. PTA is leading the engagement with parents.
The World Bank-funded initiative is aimed at providing household and institutional toilet facilities. For Joy News, my name is Emmanuel Bright-Kweku.
Now, the Ghana Association of University Administrators, GAWA, has launched an initiative aimed at curbing corruption and contributing to shaping the career paths of the younger generation. The Raising Nest Professionals Initiative would connect public universities, senior administrators and professionals with learners in public schools to counsel, mentor and nurture them to grow into people of substance. There's more in the following report by Fred Kwame-Sari.
According to the Ghana Integrity and Public Survey statistics for 2021, Ghana lost 5 billion Ghana cedis to bribes and various forms of corruption, while statistics on unemployment keeps increasing. This formed the core of the Ghana Association of University Administrators' aim to launch the Raising Nest Professionals Initiative to tackle corruption and unemployment. The national president of the association, Dr. Mrs. Beth Ofei Ewuku, outlined the modalities of the initiative at its launch at the Adaklu Kojobi DA Basic School in the Adaklu district of the Volta region.
Another reason why we find this very important is a gradual decline in professional ethics and integrity. In the tertiary education landscape, we pride ourselves as GAWA as one of the bodies that has zero tolerance for bribery and corruption. And so we know that we are positioned to mentor these young ones, to teach them how to stand up in their professional expressions with integrity, and to make sure that tomorrow's professional at least reduces or abolishes these unfortunate behavior and practices that is a drain on our dear nation.
She said that the initiative would also encompass partnerships with the beneficiary schools and mentoring programs for students.
Oftentimes, we know that public school pupils do not have contact with working professionals. So we find that the disengagement with working professionals also does not make these children envision even the occupations they dream about. Now, Gawa is a unique mix of fine administrators and professionals in the university setting. So we are in the education landscape at the tertiary level. And now we are coming down to the basic level, to the secondary level, offering ourselves and our professions so that we can expose these young ones to their dream occupations.
The headmaster of Adaklukojobi DA Basic School, Charles Kugbeajo, lauded the initiative, indicating it would play a vital role in shaping the future of the learners.
Today marks the beginning of a partnership that holds immense promise for the students of Kojobi DA Basic School. Through the collaboration between the school and Gawa, I'm confident that we will equip our learners with not only the knowledge and skills they need, but also the confidence and clarity to pursue their dreams.
The Raising Next Professionals initiative would be implemented in all public basic and senior high schools nationwide. Fred Kwame Asari, Joy News, Adaklukojobi.
And to other stories, and over 40,000 young people between ages 15 to 24 are living with HIV in Ghana. According to the Director General of the Ghana AIDS Commission, Dr. Treme Etiahene, out of the increasing figure of 355,000 Ghanaians living with the virus since the first case was recorded, 11% are youth. He was speaking at a Joy Christian Forum dubbed Chastity and Morality. How are the youth staying chaste in today's world?
We have about 355,000 people living with HIV in the country. And these are the people who have been fortunate to live with HIV since the time the first case was found in Ghana. And so it's a cumulative figure of 40,500 young people aged 15 to 24 live with HIV, and that represents 11% of the total number of people living with HIV. But when we talk about HIV, the most important thing we always focus on is new infections, because the more people get newly infected, it means we add on to the existing number. So if, for example, by the end of this year, 16,000 people get HIV, it will add on to make it what? 371,000 or something like that. Okay, and so we want to reduce new infections, and now our target is to reduce new infections by 17% every year.
And is that possible, looking at how far?
Yes, it's very, very possible, but we are not able to. In fact, between 2021 and 2022, we were only able to reduce it by 8%, which means we are short of, let's say, 9%.
Now, lack of the time and resources to go to the farm site to monitor the conditions of the farm and motivation to manually irrigate the farm deter many from partaking in this venture. Fortunately, a mechanical engineering student of the Sian Technical University has developed a smart farming system to curtail these problems. Love FM's Kwesi Deborah speaks with the developer Esther Abani for Tech Thursday.
So this Smart Green, that's our Innovate project. We have it embedded in an app. We have created an app for it. And with the app, we have the farm. And when you go to the farm like this, it tells you the temperature, the humidity, and the moisture content. But right now, I have not kept the sensor inside the soil, so it will be 0. But when you put the sensor inside the soil, it will begin to read the moisture content in the soil. So let's give it some time. So as I'm doing, I'll be talking. So it tells the moisture content in the soil. So let's take lettuce for instance. If we are planting lettuce needs more water and can be watered twice a week. And then we know lettuce is shallow. It has shallow roots. So this is the moisture content right now. So the moisture content is 14%. The humidity is 78, and temperature is 27.1. That's for the surrounding of this right now. And so there are other things that we have in the app. We have visual assist, which you can click on it and then ask, how do I plant lettuce? How do I plant tomatoes? It will assist you. And then we have the learning aspect of it. You can also click on it. It will tell you how to plant some things and then what are the things you can do with it. We have the visual farm, and then we have the plant diagnose. So with the plant diagnose, you just take a picture of the plant and then you upload it on Google, and it will tell you the disease that the plant is having right now. And then with the pump right now, we have it, and then let me say the moisture content is not up to what the plant needs. All you need to do is just click on the pump, and then the water will begin to come. So, this is it. We have the pump on, and then we have the other things. So when we click here, click on the pump on, it will begin to sprinkle the water for you if you are using sprinklers. But if you are using a tube like this, you can lay it somewhere that it will spread the water throughout the place. And then when it's enough for what you need, all you need to do is to long press on the pump, and then it will do pump off, and then it will go off.
Now, in the annals of history, the name Major General Constance Emefa Agyeni Afenu stands as a beacon of resilience, dedication, and the unwavering pursuit of equality. As the first female general in the Ghana Armed Forces, her journey was marked by both remarkable achievement and trials. Speaking at the launch of her book, The Lady in Boots, Ghana's ambassador to Egypt, Lieutenant General Obed Boama, said she was a trailblazer for women in the service. There is more in this report.
Her courage transcends the battlefield, leaving an indelible mark on the very essence of service. Major General Constance Emefa Agyeni Afenu, her book, Lady in Boot, stands as a testament to her indomitable spirit. At the launch, Ghana's ambassador to Egypt, Lieutenant General Obed Boama, touched on her profound commitment to women's empowerment in the service.
A trailblazer in the Ghana Armed Forces. She has chalked so many feats. First commanding officer of a regiment, the Peace Regiment. The first lady to have served as deputy military advisor in New York at the United Nations. And most importantly, the first lady to be a deputy force commander in the UN mission in the Western Sahara. The book covers a lot of topics. If you want to do command and leadership style, especially for females. Constance is an example of determination and focus and staying professional and not dabbling in things that are not related, to the professional calling.
For Brigadier General Anita Asma, the content of The Lady in Boots exhibits the late Major General's passion for her career.
She goes into details from her childhood right up to when she finished serving her last appointment. She carries you along in the reading of the book. It's very interesting to read, and she has advice for both children, women, young girls, and even the Ghana Armed Forces. Whatever she saw as wrong, she was very plain spoken in the book. She addressed issues as they were, and she stressed on those that needed to be stressed.
The legacy of the late Major General, according to her sister, Akofa Ejiani, will be preserved through the book to impact the younger generation.
Definitely, I believe so, that her legacy will be preserved, because generations unborn will come and still read this book. One of the things we want to do is to send copies of the book to secondary schools across Ghana so that they can have it in their libraries. So generations unborn will definitely read about her and know that there's no challenge one cannot surmount if you put your mind to it.
The lady in boots, Major General Constance M.F. Acheni Afenu, has exited the land of the living, but her legacy lives on. For Joy News, Jacqueline Ansoma Yeboah.
And that does it for the morning's bulletin on the AM show. There's more news on myjoyonline.com. Up next is the news review. All right, so welcome back, and time for us to go into what the papers are reporting this morning. And I mean, Thursday morning, I didn't expect to see my brother here, but yeah, he's here. Samuel Imbura. Yo, morning.
I'm fine.
How are you?
I'm fine. I hope you're doing well too.
I'm good. Good
to see you.
Once we see people we love, it gives us a certain amount of energy,
Thank you, my brother.
All right. I have the Daily Graphic newspaper, and I also have the Daily Guide. What do you have?
I have the Chronicle and Business Finder.
Okay.
Yeah. This one, I decided to put it aside because it's a special story.
Okay.
I don't know if we can start with that.
Let's start.
It's from the Chronicle newspaper.
Okay.
And it's actually...
Who wrote the story? I guess we Alfred Adams.
I have not seen the name here. Alfred Kwesi Adams.
Alfred
Adams. A fantastic job there. It has to do with the road network in Western region.
Okay.
Accra, to be specific. We know this is a region that gives a lot to the finance of the country, but this is a road network there. It's at the center of the town.
I hope
opportunity to look at it.
It's very well. Well, I even have the better photograph, so I don't know if they can capture it so well.
It's so disturbing. I think I saw it on Facebook, and I think it's a good. I'm told that a reporter has reported it as a devastating story. You can't have this in a capital where you have a whole lot of minerals being produced from there for the country.
And you know why I love this picture? It's because it tells that, you see, the truck there is conveying
manganese.
Okay. So we have it on the camera on the screen now. So the truck there is conveying bauxite.
Bauxite.
If we had put the original picture on it, you would have seen the color of the material in the truck. It's a bit reddish, and they are conveying this to the harbor.
Really?
Yes. Now the truck has broken down at the very bad spot in
which area? Which area specifically is
this? Is Kwesimintim.
I see. Is that the center of Takoradi?
When you are getting to the center of Takoradi. But all the trucks that cut manganese and bauxite will have to use this road before they get to the port.
How old has this situation been? Because I wonder why authorities will just allow this situation to deteriorate for residents or people to complain before you move in. Honorable Rose Minister.
This has been like this, I am sure.
It's a shame to me. It's a shame.
This will be more than 6 months eating to a year, if not more. Now, before you get to this spot, there is a spot that has also deteriorated to a very... It's in a very terrible form.
So this is not the
that has been more than a year. This is not.
There are other areas that have been captured.
Okay,
so
let me start.
So just run us through. So
let me start with you. Now, I'm going to do a visual, recall of how terrible these roads are.
Yeah.
Fortunately, the Takwa to Agunan Kwanta road is being constructed. So as for that, we give kudos to the government. But as you enter Agunan Kwanta, from Agunan Kwanta all the way to Takoradi, the road is terrible.
Very terrible.
The only places that are motorable, that are okay.
Okay.
I'm not sure will amount to even 2 or 3 kilometers. All the rest, you meet bad spots on them. And the most terrible places are Agoran Kwanta to Abuade.
Okay.
Very terrible. Abuade to Elsiejo. Even that is a bit manageable.
Yeah.
From Elsiejo to Bukro, very, very terrible. I mean, that's the place where the slightest breakdown of a truck can cut off the whole road. So they have to use the roads that pass through the villages before they go.
I see.
So when it comes to that point, these trucks are not able to cut the goods to the harbor. When you move from from Apawa to Apremdo, very terrible. From Apremdo to Kwesimintim, very terrible. Yeah. From Kwesimintim to Takrade, some places are terrible. I see. So is
it the reward for what the region is giving the country?
Well, of course.
Honorable Rose Minister, we are just appealing.
Mm-hmm.
This is so disheartening. We can't continue like this. Mm-hmm. This is something that we need to look into. At least let's get the contractors work on this. If you were to be doing your routine maintenance, I don't think the situation would have deteriorated up to this stage.
That's the point.
This is just one of the situations in the country. Move to Kumasi, move to some parts of Accra here, and then move to the northern part of the country. And it is really heartbreaking to say.
I am not sure the regular maintenance thing is something that they do practice. But when have you seen like a maintenance work being done on a certain road?
Yeah.
Look, last time I said it here, and I will probably go back to Takrade to check. There's this road that was constructed. It was begun under the Mahama time, and it was completed under Akufo-Addo.
Okay.
The Anaje bypass, a fantastic road. But the last time I went home, it had started developing potholes. Now I said here
they'll not graduate to potwells. So they will have dams on the road
because highways will fail to work on that. Or
the challenge they have always told us has to do with financing.
Yeah.
This one is beyond your MC. This one is beyond the MC for Takrade.
So this is will have to. So MC for Efia Kwesimintim is beyond it.
Exactly. So
if you go to Takrade too, there are ones there that are beyond him.
Exactly. So the Roads Ministry would have to see what they can do to assuage the situation there. There's another, for me, I've seen some stories on the front page, but these are the big stories for me. When it comes to health, it matters a lot. And there's this midwife, Margaret Ako, at Bosontri district in the Ashanti region that we need to applaud her. Okay. We need to celebrate her, and this is what she has done. Okay. You know, there have been issues of traveling, sending children especially from the rural areas to improved health facilities for healthcare and all that. No incubators at the district or the rural hospitals or clinics. But this nurse has been able to improvise a basket to be able to, you see, it has a, what do you call it, the drips or whatever it is, in the basket.
Okay.
There's a drip in the basket there, and then some foam in it. So the child can rest so well whilst they transport the child to the nearest hospital for healthcare. So it is an improvised, incubator as well. And I think that, I mean, these are some of the people that we need to. Honorable Health Minister, you have to go to, the name of the area is the St. Mary's Anglican Clinic at Apinkra in the Bosontri district of the Ashanti region. And we must celebrate
this woman
midwife Margaret Ako.
Running out of the country, but she's staying and doing her part.
Yeah, we need to identify them.
Whilst she's doing her part, the state must also do their part by ensuring that they honor her.
Yeah, sure.
When you do that, it serves as motivation
to others. And I think it's a good move. It has been reported by my good friend Richard Owusu-Echan from the Ashanti region Chronicle, and that's a very nice story that I think the Health Ministry, Mr. Kwesi Ejimamenu and his people should look into. But let's get to politics. The Chronicle captures John Mahama.
So let me conclude it with an appeal to the Highways Minister, please.
That has to do with the
West. Yes. Yeah. Look, this situation began not today. It's been like this for some months now, if not up to a year and even over. You have to show the people of Western region that you care for them, for all that they do for this country.
The contribution.
Look, the truck that is stuck in this place, every day, not less than 200 of these trucks use this road to cut either bauxite or manganese to Takoradi Port. And if the people who live there see all of this being taken from their region, you have no excuse to allow their road to deteriorate to this level. It shouldn't be. I mean, the way the things are in the Western region, I mean, we have to say that things are happening. But the roads that are in terrible shape are also not good at all.
Yeah.
We used to have the railways that was cutting manganese and bauxite. Today, the railway is almost non-existent. Everything is gone. And what shocked me most is when I saw that Abuja had launched their blue rail, where today people can use train in the city of Abuja.
Brace, I'm so shocked that
we don't have it.
Yeah, as of now, we cannot even say we have a reliable system that can take you from Kumasi to Accra. If it was working perfectly, it would have been the case that some people can be coming all the way from Kumasi to Accra to work, or Accra to Kumasi to work, or even to Tamale, because the train can go like 1 hour, you are there. Just like someone traveling all the way from Amasama to Kokomlemle here for work.
Yes.
So I think
by driving,
we need to
see if there was a proper train between Takoradi and Accra, I would never have thought of living in Accra. No, I'll live in Takoradi and work here. But look at us. All of us have to come here, you know. Yeah. So I think that we need to be deliberate about some of these things. The road network, once the rail is off, and we are using the road to cut the manganese and bauxite, let's find a way to make the roads that we use in cutting these things very durable. I was impressed when I went to Takwa and I saw the road that they were constructing. I pray it lasts.
But Brett, who is the MP for this particular constituency?
That's my friend, Prince Hamidu.
I think he has to make a case in Dr. Parliament when they resume from recess. He has to make a case, talk about the bad nature of the road. Remind governments about the contribution that the Western...
He shouldn't be alone.
It
should be the regional caucus.
The caucus that should come together.
So from Wasai Krapong to Takwa, to Ahanta West, to Kesmintim, to Takrade, Efia Sekedi, they should all come together. You know, even Amaboa, even though he has some very good roads, but Amaboa, Honorable Amaboa, should join. All the Western caucus should join and get the roads fixed. I must say that the second Takrade Road is being constructed, albeit very slow pace, but it's being worked on. But this is a very critical road.
So let's also turn our attention to the mining companies. Please, let's also be responsible. The weight of load you carry on your track can also exert pressure on the road. The road surface depression, like you see, then at the end, the potholes begin to come up. So I think that we should, in as much as we are talking or calling on authorities to fix this, the mining companies also be responsible.
But that is why we have the axle load. So the guys at the axle load, what do they do?
That has been the challenge.
So when we come to corruption, which is on the daily graphic, probably we'll speak about that.
Exactly. So
when we put people there to help make sure the country progresses, they do things that really lead to it breaking apart.
One of the big stories here, Mahama campaigns for EC urges voters to go out and register. We know the limited voters registration exercise is going on. The former president, through a Facebook Live session, appealed to Ghanaians to take advantage, especially those who don't have the voters ID card, to go for the first time and register, so that at least there can be a hope for a better Ghana. Because everyone has the right to vote. You also have the power of the thumb. There have been calls for extension of this exercise, maybe for unforeseen circumstances and all that. Another big story here has to do with illegal mining in forest reserves. It's an existential threat to Ghana. That's coming from the Forestry Commission. You know, on the back of our documentary on Say No to Galamsey, they issued a statement talking about how they have protected the forest reserves in the country, about 34 of them, but they are lacking logistics, but they are able to procure about 1,000 pump action guns for their officers to go into the forest to protect them. We know it is not only the mining that is threatening the forest reserve, but we know illegal logging too is another thing there. Some of us have been raising concerns that why would you give permits to people to go to already depleted forests, to go under the guise of salvaging. The permits they bring is salvaging. I remember when I was in the Upper East region, 2017, they gave permits to no less than 15 companies to come to the northern part of the country to salvage rosewood. these rosewoods have been protected for a very long time.
Yeah.
Then you push the companies and the guys up. They'll go to the forest and salvage the rosewood. And they'll go there and rather log them. And that has been a challenge. But I think Forestry Commission, they've been doing so well. Just the challenges of their guards or personnel, in which I've seen them assuring that they are going to step up the game to ensure that that is done. So John Alote is the CEO of Forestry Commission, and then he's giving this assurance. MPP promised to probe superdelegates' infractions, comes with a picture of Justin Kodia, that's the General Secretary, on the back of Alan's withdrawal letter from the MPP race, citing a flawed Superdelegates Congress, and he not having the assurance that going into the November 4 election, he and his people will be protected, decided to withdraw. But he wants these issues to be addressed. So the party has responded to him and then indicated that they would look into it. They will probe them. Already a probe is underway by the disciplinary committee. We know that about 5 people before the disciplinary committee, such actions are being done. But the party is still asking for additional information from Alan Chamantin so that they'll be able to proceed and then have a balanced report. Driver jailed for masterminding robbery of employer. That's quite a sad story. This is how some people reward their employers. Your own employer who is giving you something to fend for your family, at the end you mastermind, allegedly. The report captured on the Chronicle newspaper.
Isn't it interesting? Well, let's do the daily graphic now. And Alan's withdrawal will have consequences for the MPP, according to political scientists.
What is his argument here?
I don't know.
There's a school of thought that Alan may go independent. So if Alan goes independent, definitely he will fetch the votes of the NPP and then the NDC. And because he's coming from the World Bank, in terms of votes for the MPP Ashanti region, it is going likely or more likely to affect the fortunes of the MPP going to 2024.
Why would he decide to go independent?
That would be the dead end of his political career to me, I think. If Alan decides to go independent, I wouldn't advise that Alan should go independent. I wouldn't do that.
Because if he go independent, die-hard party people who think that, well, you cannot decide to take any sort of reaction when the elections do not go your way. We saw it in 2007 when he resigned. And I've had people who say that he killed his political ambition when he resigned from the party.
In 2007.
Exactly.
After the election.
Exactly. Have you been able to study the results? From that year.
It has been dwindling.
Exactly. That's why I say that.
2007 till now. Look at, even the latest contest shows that there's a problem.
So if I were...
It is not a systematic problem in the party, but he has to work on his...
So if I were Alan Chamantin, nothing should prick my mind that if I go independent, I can never do anything. Because you go to independent to win, right? You just don't want to add on to the numbers. You want to win. But can your independence win when you look at
and the history is there? How many independent candidates have made it in Ghana?
Exactly.
Our political history is clear
and the thing is, people should make it clear to Alan Chamantin that his vote is not only dwindling in the Special Delegate Congress. Even when they opened it, in the past elections when they had gone, he and Akufo-Addo, he had suffered some reduction in vote.
So politically, the results from the Super Delegates Conference
was even more, I'd appreciated a bit.
So what I'm trying to say is, it signals or sends a message of even distrust within his own party. So if you want to go independent, the people will refer you say, oh, even his own party members didn't even endorse him at the super delegates level. These are level-headed people who went in to vote. So these are the people who decide what happens in the party. They think that he's not a good material. So if he goes independent, that is the card they will use to play against him. His own people didn't accept him. So what would be the assurance that he will be a candidate?
If I am to advise him,
go independent,
I'll advise him against running independent.
He shouldn't go. I think that, to me, I believe that he should step aside. He shouldn't align for now and watch the remaining aspirants do their thing for the betterment of his political career. I know he has brighter fortunes ahead, so at least he should.
Would he want to run anyway? I don't know after, well, probably if he would want to run again after all of these years. You know, if I were him, I would be a godfather.
Exactly.
And never to even think about running to a flag bearer again. Sometimes there's power in you stepping behind and supporting young people to go. So that the young people will see you as their father.
You know, when
they will run to you.
When the applause on the stage is high.
So that's let's see how that goes. Now, speak up against corruption. Sam Jonah rallies citizens and groups. Now, Statesman Sesam Jonah has implored every citizen, especially politicians and public office holders, to work vigorously to uproot corruption in the society. Sesam Jonah said corruption and greed had eaten deep into the fabric of the nation, and young people were fast losing hope and dignity of labor. Delivering a thematic paper at the annual general meeting and conference of the Pharmaceutical Society of Ghana in Takoradi yesterday, he called on professional bodies and associations not to sit on the fence but speak up against the ills and wrongs in society in the spirit of nation building.
So he cited the Pharmaceutical Society of Ghana.
No,
he cited the Ghana Bar Association, all the civil society organizations.
To speak up.
Journalists are not also exempted.
Spared.
So the question I ask is that, is it the media which has been considered as the watchdog of society that has failed, or it is a systematic problem in our terrain here in the country? Or is it a case that the leaders see that, as a people, we are not serious in holding them accountable? A reason, perception of corruption, or even naked eye. You see it, just naked corruption. Whatever way you want to classify it, it's still happening in the country. Are we not playing our role? Do we need to go to the extra mile?
When it comes to corruption, I think two things have to work properly. The laws would have to work. When someone is caught, he or she has to be dealt with severely to serve as a deterrent to other people. Two is about a personal decision.
Not to be corrupt.
Yes. For example, the guys who put at the weighing bridge, I mean, we're just saying it.
Yeah. The
axle load people, they sit there, look on for trucks to overload, and then they take 200, 300 cities and allow trucks to pass by. What is that?
Also, I think this.
So I'm thinking that if you, Imbura, decide that when they put you at that place, you would ensure that the right things are done.
Let me just give.
Even though it will be difficult.
Let me just use.
But if you decide.
Let me just use a simple analogy. In the health sector, we have what we call management of health and prevention of health. That's why we have the preventive nurses, and we have those who manage situation, those who are the hospital emergency nurses and all that. So just picture corruption to be like someone who is sick, or a situation, someone who is sick and has been sent to a hospital. There's a nurse, there's a doctor, whoever, taking care of the person, trying to resuscitate the person, trying to ensure that you stand on your feet. And then a situation whereby we have the preventive nurses, who are more or less the public health nurses or the community nurses, ensuring that they tell the people that don't drink dirty water. If you drink dirty water or swim in dirty water, you get bilharzia or some health-related diseases. Then the people are conscientized, knowing what to do and what not to do. And someone who is already at the hospital seeking resuscitation, or the person is now under treatment to come back to normalcy. That is the state of corruption in the country here. The laws are just like someone in the hospital scenario that I'm giving. And then the preventive side is how we can conscientize the mindset of the people. Corruption starts from you.
Exactly. So
we force our politicians to be corrupt. The last time I spoke about it, even some people force journalists to be corrupt. You go back to your constituency, the people are there, they even want you to marry their wives. They want you to give money for their child's naming ceremony or whatsoever. Every social activity, they want the politician to be part, and you must donate. There's a classical example of an MP who lost an election because he failed to attend funerals, and the people were peeved. After that, they voted and campaigned against him. And when you are going for such gatherings, you must go with money. Some MPs cannot go home, or public officials cannot go home, because you need not to spend not less than 500,000 cedis per visit, because if you get home, the queue that is there, you can't imagine. So corruption is multifaceted. We must start from the mind conscious, the younger generation. Sometimes I look at my son and feel like, so how would their generation be when they grow to our stage? Would they look back and say, my father was part of this generation? That is what I
think that
weep about every day. What's the next generation think about us?
For our children, we should start to let them understand that what is not yours, you don't have to take it. But I am also thinking that digitization may probably reduce corruption to an extent. Imagine if these axle load, the processes were digitized, said that when the car comes to stand on it, the machine will tell if you are overload, it will cause you to stop at a certain point. if you are to go and register a company today, you sit in your home and you do everything online. You don't need to pay anybody for anything. If you have to get your VAT certification, you sit online, do it, and print it.
Yeah.
You know that
digitization.
Maybe digitization is the way to go.
Yeah. I've seen that Premix World. There's an attempt like
now they have.
They've done well.
Let's see how that works. I think with that proper enforcement of the law and personal decisions, young people deciding that we want to leave the world a better place for our kids, we may probably make a headway. So if you are training your kids, tell them that what I have not bought for you, what is not yours, is not yours. Don't envy it. Love what you have.
Exactly.
Maybe that can take us somewhere. Anyway, there's another story in the graphic, page 34. It says, policy expert advocate insurance funds for farmers. This thing, it came up
for farmers.
For farmers. It came up when I was in school, 2010, thereabout. We're in 2023, isn't it?
Yeah.
13 years down the line. Are we saying
there's no insurance for farmers?
Are we saying that we are not able to do
what's the
that?
motivation? So when the agri sector alone contributes over 60% to the growth of the country, that's what we rely on.
So look, and I know that there are some agri startups that are also having insurance for their farmers. How are they doing it? Maybe people should be asking them to tell us how they do it. I know a company like New Age Agri Solutions.
Okay.
They have product like in Seba and all of that they allow people to invest into maize farming and all of that. Now, when you put your money in there, it is insured.
Okay.
We should ask them, how are they doing it? So that we can probably expand it, because we've been speaking about insurance for farmers for a very long time. Why is it that there is no company, no insurance company that is taking up this? Is it because of the risk associated? Can we break it? Can we find a way out of it? Because if we do, it would encourage a lot of people to take into farming. And farming is the way we can create billionaires, more billionaires for this country, because it has the potential.
We have the
to
capacity. But look at the vast land that we have. If you go to the northern part of the country, we have lands that are wasting. Look at the Tono Dam, irrigation dam, for instance. The number of acres that have been put to use is not even up to 1/3 of it. If you go to the Via Dam, same thing. There are bigger dams that you can even use for dry season farming. The almighty Palago Dam, that has not also come into fruition, could have also augmented farming. I'm just creating a nationwide picture of how farm. If you go to our farm plains, I've been to most of the areas, and you can see that
the potential is huge.
The potential is huge, but it just has to do with commitment. Our initiatives, our policies. How are we going to ensure that we implement them to the letter to ensure that we achieve this? If you go to the Asian tigers, like they always say, in Malaysia, Singapore, and all those, they are using agri to drive their economy. Why are we importing rice from there when we have rice? If you go to Navrongo, they have special rice. If you go every region, that produces rice, you get quality of rice. An example is FVV rice, and I have tasted it, and I can. This is a sample of the local rice I'm talking about that we can get to the market and then see how we can boost this. If you motivate the farmers, getting them the insurance, they know that whilst I'm working now, in future, there is something that I can rest on when my bones become weak for me to go to the farm.
Sure. Ordinarily, I wouldn't have taken this story, but it's because it falls in line with something I've been discussing about. EcoBank Ghana engages employees on volunteerism. Imbura, would you consider how CSR conscious a company is before you buy from them or you even work for them? Has it ever come across?
That hasn't. I haven't.
It hasn't. In the US, 67% of people who buy from companies consider the CSR consciousness of the companies before they buy.
They buy, okay. The corporate social responsibilities.
52% of employees consider how CSR conscious companies are before they work with them.
I see.
Exactly. In Ghana, it doesn't work like that.
We are looking at how much you're going to be paid.
So, I'm having that discussion on Facebook, and some of my young people have been telling me that when I've stayed home for 5 years, you think I'll consider the CSR as initiative of the company before I attempt? No. But it's something we need to consider. Because if we do that, the nation stands to gain. What EcoBank has done, imagine if about 100 companies are doing it. There's a lot we can achieve. So maybe it's about time Parliament itself takes a look at enacting a CSR law that will make it binding on companies to undertake, CSR initiatives, and even give mark hours for their employees to engage in CSR initiatives. So a company can decide to say, okay, we're going into this community today to go and teach the kids there, or motivate the kids, or even put something together and help. Look, There's this school in my community, one of the communities there. It's called it's Fasten.
Okay.
When it rains, it passes through the classrooms. I discussed with a bank there, and they called me yesterday to say that their employees have decided to contribute from 50 cedis upwards each to support us in constructing that classroom. That is what we expect companies to be doing, you know. So, in fact, maybe it's something that we should look forward to and see how we can.
I think the last paper here is a business finder talks about business SOEs seek private capital for increased efficiency and productivity. Ghana to be granted observer status in Pacific Alliance 120 awarded MTN scholarship. I think those are the stories making headlines. But there's one important thing that I think we should also draw our attention to, though not captured in the newspapers, but it has to do with the spillage of the Bagri Dam. The authorities, those who manage the Bagri Dam, Sonabel, in Burkina Faso, they have given an indication or communicated to the Volta River Authority. So Sonabel works like Volta River Authority in Ghana. So they manage the Bagri Dam in Burkina Faso. So they have given a notice that they are going to spill the Bagri Dam. So those who are living around the Hoyt Volta and its tributaries are expected to experience, discharge of water or overflowing water from the dam that they are spilling. And we should be anticipating that farmlands will be submerged. We hope that NADMO puts in place the rightful measures to assuage the situation. Northeast, Upper East, Northern region, and even parts of Upper West region would be affected by this. We only hope that farmers along that line are advised to move to higher grounds. Children should not, parents should ensure that their children are well protected so that we can save life and property. It's actually a sad situation when it gets to this season and then the dam is spilled. Unless you go there, you have an aerial view of the situation. You understand the trauma, the pressure that the people go through in times like this.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Let's complete with the Daily Guide newspaper. The front page says Ghana Colombia strengthen ties. It comes with a picture of Vice President Dr. Aliyu Mahmoud Bawumia. I don't know how Aliyu Muhammad's name is coming.
Maybe you have been thinking about him.
And the Vice President for Colombia, Francia Maguez Mina. And then there's also the story here, Kajetia market traders threaten showdown.
A showdown.
MPP flag bearer aspirant balloting postponed, and Alan drops from MPP race, shocking. Now, Alan has broken our heart, Western Region Coordinator says. Now, Chris, supporters of the former Trade Minister, Alan Chermanting, in the Western Region said they were taken aback when news reached them that Mr. Chermanting has withdrawn from the MPP presidential race. Alan Kojo Chermanting who emerged after the Super Delegates Conference of the MPP to reduce the aspirant to 5, announced his withdrawal from the flag bearership race on Tuesday. In a statement now, the Western Region Coordinator Chris Labi says they were heartbroken.
Because in internal election, you know, the enmity or distraction within is always greater than the distraction outside.
You sure?
In politics, the enemy inside is dangerous than the enemy outside.
Oh, okay.
So I understand their situation, because how are they now going to patch up? How are they now going to mend? Especially those who did not conduct themselves against their opponents, using bad language against them. I can imagine how they'll be able to patch up the differences and all that. But Alan's resignation to some of us was not actually a surprise. I felt that because of what happened from the Super Delegates Congress, the man should take a bow so that at least going into November, the surety of he increasing his votes were not clear. So I think that his supporters should understand, at least they should re-strategize and then look for the way forward in making their candidates more stronger and then in all making their party better ahead of the 2024 elections.
So you anticipated that he will.
Yeah. I already had that confirmation. I had that information earlier, but we're now waiting for the confirmation that he was not going to continue with the race because of the turnaround in events, the reported intimidation of his agents and then supporters in some parts of the country and all that. But as time goes on, let's see how it pans out.
Okay. Ghana Black Stars will be playing the Central African Republic. I think today is Thursday. Yeah, I think the game is.
I've not actually been monitoring. Is that the qualifiers, right?
Yeah. I see. People are suggesting that we give we all applaud. The stadium should applaud the Ayu brothers for their service to the country. Yeah. Last time I've seen a campaign like that. People think that we've been always lambasting them without considering their contributions over the years to the national team. And therefore, we should celebrate them now than wait when they are no longer on earth, then we'll celebrate them. So people are proposing that, look, before the game, all the spectators at the stadium should stand up.
Where are they playing
and
this game?
I think it's in Kumasi.
Kumasi, okay.
But I mean, Mufta will be giving us...
I understand why they may be playing it in Kumasi.
Why?
Kumasi, the love for
the love is
by
bigger.
People in Kumasi.
They don't have
I wish that love can be ignited. You know, in the early 2000s, Kotoko, they are playing match at the sports stadium. I remember my brother would tell me, take me to the stadium. Oh, today they are playing. Then you see that all the guys at magazine will leave their work on a Saturday. They are going to the stadium. And now the love is no longer there. How can we bring that back? The love that we have for the Black Stars, how can we transfer that to the local team?
So let's see how today the Black Stars will fare. And I am thinking
I'm anticipating a win.
Sure.
Maybe
we'll win.
2-1
will win.
Will be my
but I hope that this campaign will go on so that all of us will celebrate their use. I mean, we've lambasted them for too long.
We have not actually treated them.
Let's celebrate them. They've done enough for this country. But as for local sport, I think that we should probably consult Harry Zakor and this Herbert Mensah. How they did it. Look, I was in the Western region. I was in a community, Aguran Kwanta, where I could not even travel to Takrady to watch the games. But radio stations were giving us the vibe. And you know, Kotoko had the song, fabulous for Asante Kotoko. Okuma, Pema, Apembeba. Anytime Kotoko was going to play Heart of Oak, or even when the Champions League, or the Confederation, the stations will play this song before the commentary can. And look, the sort of, I don't know how the CEOs did it then, but there was a certain level of love.
The spirit was high.
But today it is not there.
It's gone.
Today, look,
so
do you know they play there?
Who caused some? What is the cause? Maybe Mufta will come and explain to us what has caused.
Maybe one day we have to bring Mufta and his people here to discuss why the love died. We've tried to bring back the love, but it's not coming back. I don't know what else we can do. But those days, how we used to love our clubs, it's not the same. It's not. Look, those days when Kotoko comes to Second D, and they're coming to play Azakes or Wise, the cars that will move Agonan Kwanta, Takwa, Aksim, just to go to Second D to go and watch the game. It's no longer there. And that is taking away a certain economy. Because when they come, food sellers sell a lot of food. Other people are selling other things, get people to buy them. They make sales on that day. So with that love gone, it's not. It has taken even the economy away. You know, and we're not thinking along those lines. We have to look at how we can resuscitate this to bring back that economy for people to make ends meet. Because those days, it's Ipon Sports Stadium. It will start from the
stadium that is now rotten.
Exactly. People will start selling from the junction to the stadium. And they will buy. Because Kotoko is in town. Because Heart of Oak is in town. Why are we not bringing back that love? Why are we not getting it right? Today you watch the EPL, and just around the stadium, look at the sales that people do. When people are watching the games, they are drinking coffee, they are drinking this, people are selling, they are making money.
Eating food.
The players are contributing to the UK economy. Look at the taxes. So I think the government itself should even consider that if it develops sports well in this country, it will generate a lot of revenue for it. Look, the Saudi Arabian League, we are told that since Cristiano came, he has increased the revenue from the game by what, 120% or 600 something. I've forgotten, but it's over 100%. So imagine if they were making $3 billion and they are making more than 100%. That's $6 billion. Can we think along those lines and have a strategy to revive?
The question is, if you bring Messi, my favorite footballer, to Ghana to join Kotoko or Haas, will we still get the same number of people going to?
No, unless we work on it first.
Exactly, that's my problem.
Unless we work on it first. But sometimes some of these people bring a certain number of people to come and watch them. Imagine if you have Messi playing Heart of Oak in Accra. Even the president will go and watch it.
Oh, surely.
You know, so imagine the monies that Heart of Oak will make on that day. So it's something that from government to us, the individuals, we need to have a rethink about it to understand that if our league goes well, it does not only go well for the teams, it goes well for all of us. Imagine if my brother is playing and the teams are making money from the proceeds. They'll pay him well, and I get to benefit as well.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway, this is where we leave it. We'll leave it for the sports guy because Muftar Nabila is coming your way with latest from the world of sports. You stay with us.
Good morning. Welcome to AM Sports with me, Muftar Nabila Abdullah. As you can see, I am in my Ghana colors because the senior national team, the Black Stars, will be in action later today, seeking to secure qualification to the next edition of the African Cup of Nations, which will be happening in Cote d'Ivoire. But before that, there are some politics surrounding Ghana football has emerged as George Afriyie, the only contender coming up against the incumbent president of the Ghana Football Association, Ket Okriko, has been disqualified from contesting the elections. Well, the elections committee, as in a document or in a statement that was sent to him, explained why he, George Afriyie, is not eligible to contest for the position of president of the football government. Let's take a look at the statement as spelled out by the elections committee, and it is stated that the decision of the Ghana Football Association election committee following the vetting process held on 21st August and 2023, and after careful consideration, the Ghana Football Association's elections committee has arrived at the following decisions. These are the reasons that they stated for the disqualification of George Afriyie. They said that the names of the authorized officers proposing or supporting a candidate must be per Article 13(2)J of the GFA Statutes 2019. Therefore, the persons that are authorized to propose or support the candidate must be persons whose names are captured in a list of officials, specifying those who are authorized signatories with the right to enter into legally binding agreements with third parties. Any changes of officials and authorized signatories shall be communicated in writing to the General Secretary within 30 days of the said change. That is what Article 13(2)J of the GFA statutes are saying. And they go to say that in addition, the authorized officers of the GFA members stated on your nomination form were to attach a statutory declaration indicating that the above GFA members are supporting only one candidate for a position of president, as stated on the nomination form. And they also went further to state that Jeffrey Asari, who signed for one of the clubs, which is Victory Warriors FC, was not authorized to sign. And this is specifically where they said that. They said there was, however, a statutory declaration sworn by Nana Ameyo Menu of Techiman 11 Wonders, who had said that he did not endorse Mr. George Afriyie to contest for the position of president of the Ghana Football Association. They also went on to say that petitions were received by the committee regarding your candidature, which you were informed at the vetting, and questions were asked about them. One of them that we understand is the fact that he sent a text message to the former president of the Ghana Football Association some many years ago, describing him as greedy. So it was used at the vetting committee. And also, they also went on to say that on your nomination form, you indicated that the fifth GFA member supporting you was Victory Club Warriors FC. And the name and designation of the authorized officer of the supporting GFA member was stated as Jeffrey Asari, director of Victory Club Warriors FC. However, the records of Victory Warriors FC from the office of the Registrar of Companies reveal that the only directors of Victory Club Warriors Limited are Leslie Kuku Battels and Angela Effa, with Angela Effa as the secretary. Hence, they stated that the signature that came from Jeffrey Asari was fraudulent. And that's quite an interesting one. They said that the committee has also confirmed from the records submitted to the GFA by Victory Club Warriors that Jeffrey Asari was neither listed as an authorized signatory for the club, nor was he registered on the FIFA Connect system as a club official at the time of signing the nomination form. The vetting and decision making by the elections committee. So subsequently, the committee inquired via a recorded WhatsApp video from the owner of Victory Club Warriors FC, the sole shareholder and director of the club, Leslie Kuku Battles, whether Jeffrey Asari was an authorized signatory for the club or a director of the company. Leslie Kuku Battles confirmed that Jeffrey Asari was neither an official nor a signatory to the club. They went to say, furthermore, Jeffrey Asari confirmed through a recorded WhatsApp video that he was not a director of Victory Club Warriors FC as stated on your nomination form, and stated in a statutory declaration sworn on 8 August 2023. Per his admission, he peddled falsehood by statutory declaration. That is what the reasons were for the disqualification of George Free. It is unclear if he will appeal, but he has until September 11, Monday, to file an appeal if he wants to do so. Now we can hear from George Free himself, who has been speaking about why he wanted to contest for the position of president of the Ghana Football Association.
You can do in your jurisdiction. That is allowed by FIFA. The FA, for me, even though I believe that it's wrong, I realized that I was going to be the only candidate who is challenging the FA president. And I didn't want to create that impression that, oh, he can't pay. What is 50,000 Ghana cedis? What is 50,000 Ghana cedis?
If 50,000 Ghana cedis is nothing, why were you talking about it as if it is something? Because I remember when you filed your nomination, if it is wrong, then stand up to something that is right by not paying that money.
No,
and tell them that if you want to run the FA...
You see, you cannot stay out to fight the system. You stay in to fight it. If I become the FA president, I'll change, of course. And it was so funny. Do you know that members of the executive committee who had approved these fees were struggling to get money to pay? I know members who had actually approached people that will help me to pay my 15,000. So how did you approve it then? Well, because I was the only one paying. I was the only one.
People say that position has actually been monetized now.
That's true.
So if you go, if you can be GFA president, you want to get back your money, isn't it?
No, 50,000.
Oh, you want to get it back? Oh, I can forget.
I don't need to get it back from the GFA.
But where?
To get it back from my private business.
Oh, your traveling allowances and all that per diem, or you get it back?
But everybody who works get paid for what he works for.
So you get your money back?
Well, to some extent, yes. Per diem, yes. But I don't think that some of us, live on per diem. But do I look like someone who live on per diem? Be fair.
But you're not even there. How are you going to get per diem?
Exactly. So that's the point. Sitting here, yesterday I was supposed to travel to Japan. I told you when you called me. I said, "Oh, you are even lucky because." So where is the per diem that was? In a flight ticket to Japan now, it's about $5,500. How much per diem can pay that?
And when you travel and go and stay there for a very long time, you get the money.
But I'm saying that now.
On a more serious note, the way you run your football, you are running for your personal interest and not in the interest of the general public.
That is why that must change. Okay. That is what you are witnessing now. Is that how you witness Andagozi Nyantechi? Is that how?
Now, let's talk football, what happens on the pitch. And later today, the Black Stars will come up against Central African Republic in the final round of the AFCON 2023 qualifiers. The senior national team needs just a point to secure qualification to the tournament that will be staged in January next year. Chris Hilton, head coach of the Black Stars, says that it is important they protect the history or record of not losing at the Bawayara Sports Stadium. He also added that no player has got a right to be called up into the Black Stars when questions were asked about whether Andre Ayew has got a special place within the senior national team.
Very, very conscious of what this game means. Not only the nation, but of course myself, the players and everybody involved, we know what this game means. So our preparation has been for the last 2 days. You know, I've often spoke about the difficulty of preparation at international level, but it's the same. It's the same for the Central African Republic team, training today and playing tomorrow, and it's the same for us. We will do everything that we can to get the result that we want to get. So our preparation has been good. As with all international camps, sometimes you miss players through injuries, and of course we are missing some through injuries, but it's always an opportunity for others. We are playing at home, we have a good record here, and it's a record that we want to continue. There's nobody that has the right to be in any squad. They have to earn that right. And that can come in different ways. That can come with somebody like Andre, who's our captain, who's a big influence and respectful player around the squad. So for what he can add to the squad. And Edmund Adu, you know, for the games that he's played, and also for the options that we have in central midfield. And you might think different, but we certainly as from offensive midfield, you know, we don't have as many options as what we have in other positions. You know, particularly players that have played and been in previous squads. So for every player that's in there, there's a thought process that goes on. You know, nobody gets into the squad just because it's the squad.
Now, let's hear from President of the Ghana Football Association, Kurt Okreko. He visited their team during their final training session at the Bawayara Sports Stadium on Wednesday with former Black Stars captain Stephen Appiah and his teammate Laie Kingston. Stephen Appiah has charged the team to win convincingly against Central African Republic later today. A big test later today, but 3 teams still stand a chance of qualifying to the tournament, which is going to be happening in January next year. Central African Republic, they need to beat the Black Stars to secure qualification, and their head coach, Raoul Savoy, believes that they've got a chance to qualify to the competition.
We are 3 teams still in the race. For us, we missed the qualification last game against Angola in Douala. So now we know exactly what we have to do tomorrow. So now for tomorrow, we know that we need a result, clearly. So that I don't want to say that it will be first easy, but we are going to fight and see. You know, every game has a story, and we'll see tomorrow at the end of the game exactly who will be happy and of course not. But for us, we are humble. We know that we are going to fight, and let's see tomorrow the story as it is end.
That game kicks off at 4 p.m. later today. We'll have a commentary for you on Joy 99.7 with my colleague Fentio Tahiru Fentio. This is where we wrap up sports here on the AM show with me, Muftau Nabila Abdullahi.
All right, welcome back from the break. This is still the AM show. Let's talk about, you know, something that is about you and I. Now, you know how agency banking has become now. EcoBank and Ghana Post have, joined hands together to take us through what the partnership that they are bringing in, how that will be beneficial to you and I, as again in relation to our build-up for the Habitat Fair. I have with me in the studio Gary Frimpong Ama. He is head of agency banking, EcoBank Ghana, and also Kwesi Owusu-Abrokwa, Chief Commercial Officer, Ghana Post. Gentlemen, good morning and welcome.
Yes, good morning.
Great. Good to have you here.
Thank you.
At this time of the year when we are planning on how we can own our homes. But first of all, Gary, let me start with you. What is agency banking?
Okay, so in simple terms, agency banking is a banking model where banks partner third-party institutions in order to bring banking services to the general public or its valued customers.
Okay.
Right. In this case, I would say for EcoBank Ghana, our model of agency banking is what we call the EcoBank Express Point.
Okay.
And in that same vein, we partner with third-party agencies, be it SMEs, small-scale businesses, retail shops, large retail shops, and then also some government institutions that have a lot of presence across the country. And in this case, the more reason we are here with Ghana Post.
So these express points, what are the benefits? That's for you, Gary.
Okay, so for us, main focus of the express points to provide convenience to our customers, right? Apart from just the convenience, it also saves our customers time, right? And then money. You are more likely to find an EcoBank agency or express points within the closest to you in your vicinity than the bank branch. In addition to that, it also provides additional income stream to the businesses in which we partner, as well as create employment for those who are still looking for something to do after school. The most important part of it, for me, is how it's driving financial inclusion within the country.
Okay, interesting. So why Ghana Post?
Why Ghana Post? Okay, so it is typically a strategic decision.
Okay.
I mean, the new leadership of Ghana Post is now partnering key institutions to help us leverage our strengths. So you would know that, I mean, in peri-urban and rural communities, usually you would get to a town and you realize that the only, as in prominent building there would be, a post office. Now, Ghana Post has about 350 outlets across Ghana and about 300 agency outlets. So clearly, you would realize that
all of your branches will now run the express points.
No, not necessarily.
Okay.
We are giving EcoBank just about 100. And that's about 22% of our capacity.
Okay.
So we have the capacity to be able to do this. Now, so as I said, it's actually a strategic decision to undergo some of these partnerships. Aside that, Gary mentioned financial inclusion. Ghana Post is best place to push that agenda, you understand, where, individuals have access to, banking facilities. And really, you would realize that, one of the barriers to financial inclusion, is the fact that some people actually are afraid, of the banking hall. Ghana Post, you'd realize that our post offices are very much easy to enter. We've renovated most of them, and you are likely to enter a Ghana Post for your banking, especially when you go out of Accra, than maybe in a main bank.
Less congestion.
Less congestion.
Aside that, there is an idea of customer centricity around this. So the principle of we trying to make sure that, we give our customers what they want. So our customers will be able to use their Ghana Post or the post offices as their banking halls as well.
What does Ghana Post stand to benefit from this arrangement?
Oh, quite a lot. So, primarily, there is a revenue generation angle for us. You understand? That is one. So with respect to the arrangement, Ghana Post gets commissions when we do this. Aside that, you'd realize that hitherto, Ghana Post wasn't doing this. Now we have to train most of our staff members to be able to do, banking. You understand?
Because I was going to answer that, but Ghana Post is not really about banking as its primary responsibility. So of course.
But you know, Ghana Post was one of the foremost quasi-financial institutions in Ghana.
How?
We introduced what we call the IMT, which was a money transfer system.
Okay.
Yes, we introduced IMT, you understand? So Ghana Post has been in this space for quite a while now. Just that I think with the intrusion of mobile money, etc., we lost out a bit. But it takes a strategic leadership, you understand, to be able to find their feet in some of these areas.
Okay.
Aside this, it's given us some footfalls. We have quite a number of people now coming into the post offices, not only to take
letters,
which is almost dying out, but also to do banking. You understand? I'm sure there will be time for us to tell you a lot more that Ghana Post is doing within our post offices.
Okay. Because actually, when you were speaking, my mind just took me to Agona Nkwanta, where I'm from, and the library, the post office. Okay, it was attached to the library. It's been like more than 10 years since I went into that building, and I'm wondering whether that has also been rehabilitated. That now, when I go to Agona Nkwanta, I can go to Ghana Post and do that. But maybe you have to go through your papers to know whether you've rehabilitated that.
I will definitely.
But if you haven't, please, for my sake, you have to renovate there. Because that's it's a marketing center. It's a market center, Agona Nkwanta, big. So you might have to.
I like the way you are dialing up the role Ghana Post is actually.
Yeah, and he's pitching for Agona Nkwanta.
Well, of course. You had a beautiful building. It cannot go waste. So if you are rehabilitating it, of course, you have to consider Agona Nkwanta. So if you haven't, because I'll take your number, Gary, Kwesi, so that
no problem. No problem.
But let me come to Kwesi again. So if Gary,
yes,
if I go to the Ghana Post centers, what kind of service can I have access to?
Okay, for that, since Kwesi is in charge of those,
okay,
I'll let Kwesi take that.
Okay, Kwesi. Yeah.
Okay, so when you go to any Ghana Post outlets where we have this collaboration with EcoBank, you'll be able to open an account.
Oh.
You'll be able to withdraw money.
Okay.
You'll be able to deposit money. You'll be able to pay your utilities. So your ECG bill, your DSTV bill, your Ghana water bill, you'll be able to do all these. We are also doing remittances. So for instance, when you get any
transfer
that you need to withdraw,
that we need to withdraw, you can do all these transactions at the Ghana Post.
Oh, yes, that's incredible. So Gary, do I need to be a customer of EcoBank before I can benefit from these services?
I'll say yes and no, not necessarily, because apart from our traditional customers and then our express account holders, which is the digital accounts, that before I leave you, I'm going to set all of you up on.
Okay.
All you need is just your telephone number. So that will be done.
Even if we are customers of the bank already?
Yes, you can have that as an added-on service. Download the EcoBank mobile app. We set you up with your telephone number, and then you have an account. It serves the same purpose and has an account number just like you have walked into the branch, right? Apart from these customers that we already have, if you are any existing customer of a bank and you have a Visa card, right, and you need to make a withdrawal, the agency points also serve as or augment the ATMs around and all the withdrawal places you have already been used to. So you can walk into any EcoBank Express point that has our agency POS, that you could withdraw no matter which bank you are coming from. In addition to that also, if you need to deposit into any bank, you could also take advantage of the interbank transfer platform at the agency point. So you can walk in there and then deposit to a third party's account through the interbank transfer, or to your own account in another bank through the same service. So that opens it up to almost everybody.
Very interesting.
Yes.
That's why it's important you bring in Agona. Kwesi, how much can I withdraw if I go to the the post office?
You can do 5,000 at a time.
Okay.
Yes, you can do 5,000 at a time.
At a time?
Yes.
So in a day, I can do multiples of 5,000s?
You can do multiples of 5,000s.
Oh, okay.
You can do 5,000 Ghana cedis at a time.
At a time?
Yes.
Okay, interesting. There's no limit?
No.
Okay, wow. So Gary has said I can transfer to another bank if I go to the point. But so Gary, if I want to become an agent like Ghana Post, what do I do?
Okay, so for every individual or business, small business, either a retail shop, a company that wants to become an express point or agency for EcoBank, all you need, if you have a close branch to you of EcoBank, visit or walk in there and then let them know. All you need is to have had an existing business. You have been running for about 6 to 12 months, and then you have some capital, and then have renewed your business certificates, right? All these will be checked. The bank will train you, especially on anti-money laundering rules, because there are some basic financial rules that you need to understand since we are under regulation. And then in addition to that, we brand you and then train you to use the app, and then you are good to go. If you don't have any EcoBank branch close to you, you could then call our toll-free line. If I may mention that to you, it's 0800 00 3225.
Okay.
You get it. All right.
Now, before we go, this year's EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair is all about affordability, luxury, and comfort, including consumer finance at EcoBank. Tell us about it.
Okay, you know, for us at EcoBank, we are always willing and supportive to support every good initiative brought in by multimedia, especially Joy News. So in that same vein, this year we continue our partnership with Joy News to bring to Ghanaians the 2023 EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair. In this particular one, in addition to all we've been doing every year, we as EcoBank are providing financial options in various forms for every individual that is working in there. You could come in for those who are willing to buy a new house, those who are willing to complete their houses, those who want to renovate their houses, those who want to buy appliances for their homes, those who want to furnish their homes, and all other things that you have in mind which involving building or buying a house. You should just walk in and engage at these various fairs in order to have a few benefits of it. I would say for us, for those who have already missed the train, because before the main event, which is in November, we have 4 general mini clinics that are being run. Right, the first 2 has been done in Achimota, and then the West Hills Mall. The second, I know it's going to happen in Tema, starting from the third is going to happen in Tema, starting from next week Friday, and after that we do have one more at the Takoradi Mall, where we are also expecting a lot more people that missed the first trains to come through and visit. If you are not able to visit any of this, then we look forward to meeting you at the Accra International Conference Center in November for the main one. You should just come in. There's an array of products, services, and then a bouquet of everything. We also tailor to meet your needs. You know, for us, apart from our personal banking that you could take from, and then also the
mortgages.
The mortgages. For the mortgages, we have three types. We do have the equity release, where you already have an existing house, but you want to put that in place in order to secure a facility to get another house, or an outright purchase, where we go through your salary meets the requirements that we need to have. And then there's this new one we have introduced, which is the diaspora mortgage, where if you happen to be outside Ghana and are willing to own a house within the country, you should also take advantage of that.
All right. Interesting. So we look forward to that day and that period. We'll be wrapping up. I'm grateful that you came in, but 30 seconds each, your last words, and then we can wrap it up.
Okay, so I think we've said a lot about Ghana Post EcoBank agency banking, but I want to reiterate to Ghanaians, to look out for what Ghana Post is doing. Ghana Post, as you know, is Ghana's foremost postal administrator, but we are doing quite a lot of different things. We have a new strategic leadership that is making sure that the company is profitable.
Thank you. I'm sure we'll talk about that some other time. Yeah, Gary.
Okay, so for me, I would like to reiterate our contact center number, which is the 0800 003225. 0800 003225. And then on both products that I've spoken about, be it the agency banking, our partnership with Ghana Post, as well as on the Habitat Fair, any other inquiry you need that I've not mentioned in here, kindly call and then get the necessary info.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. So that's Gary Frimpong Amar. He is head of agency banking at EcoBank, and he also heard from Kwesi, also a broker, chief commercial officer for Ghana Post. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back with more. Stay with us. All right, so welcome back again. Now, government has commissioned an automated premix fuel dispensing and monitoring system to transform Ghana's fishing industry. Industry players hope this will end an era of corruption, diversion, and other inefficiencies prevalent in the premix and the supply chain. Now, to help us talk about this, we've been joined by the administrator of the Premix Secretariat, Nana Abrokwa Asari himself, joining us. Nana, good morning.
Good morning, Kojo, and good morning to all your viewers.
Okay. So you launched this last week, am I right?
On Tuesday.
Oh, it was this week, rather. I'm moving fast ahead. Okay. So once you have, okay, I'll come to you, but I'm told that Nana Joyo Solomon is also joining us via Zoom. He is president of the Kanu Council. He will be joining us to have this discussion. But since you inaugurated, how has the process been?
I think to begin with, let me take the opportunity to also educate viewers on what the system is about. The Premix Fuel Automation System deploys the usage of cutting-edge technology to solve the many problems that has bedeviled the sale and distribution of Premix Fuel since time immemorial. It utilizes card fuel dispensing systems, card units, fuel leveling system, and then we are able to track fuel in real time. It's an end-to-end solution that would end all the problems that has confronted the sale and distribution since its inception. We launched it on Tuesday. His Excellency, the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, was there to commission it. It's been his baby since day one. He's been very supportive on this project. We identified that the problems that we face in the industry can only be solved through technology. And I'm happy that this has moved from paper and we can now see projects dotted across the country. We have 300 landing beaches across the country. As I speak to you now, we have about 50 that have been fully completed. Hopefully by next year, we'll fully automate all sites. And we believe that is a step and the right way to go. Fishermen have been very, very supportive. They've been very happy. Right in Elmina, where the project was launched, fishermen have had the benefit to experience how the system works like. They've been very happy. They've been very supportive. Fishermen across the length and breadth of the country are expecting that very soon we'll roll out this project in their various districts as well.
So for me, I'm not a fisherman. I was also not there when it was launched. Tell me how it works.
All right, so this is how the system works. All canoes, we've registered all canoes across the country. In times past, you go to these landing beaches, anybody at all walks to a landing beach and says, I want to buy Premix Fuel. Whether that person is a fisherman or not, there's no way of verifying. And by way of education, Premix Fuel is also highly subsidized by government. Government spends a lot of money to subsidize this product. And also, this product has other uses because it's about 90% the normal super that we put in our cars. You find unscrupulous people who buy this in large quantities. When the fuel comes, they hoard it and then they sell it to unsuspecting victims. Some put it in their vehicles, some put it in Okada rider machines, some put it in chainsaw machines, some used to operate their farms, etc. And that is not the usage, that is not the intent and purpose for which government was subsidizing it. So what happens is that it always creates artificial shortage. The fisherman who the premix fuel is intended to be for doesn't end up getting it, and then other people who are not fishermen get this product, and like I said, it's subsidized hugely, so people are able to make money at the back of government. So this system would eradicate all of these middlemen and these connection men that we call them from the system, because every canoe owner now will have a card. So without a card, you can't dispense fuel. You have to go, and these are modern systems. They're like mini filling stations where it has fireproof systems, etc. So we've deployed cutting-edge technology to solve the many problems that we have. Previously, we've had incidents of fire, people burning left, right, center, people go and buy premix and put it in their rooms and all of that. This is now going to be a thing of the past.
So I saw the Vice President swap a certain card.
Yes.
Does it mean that if I'm a fisherman, I go there, I swap my card, and I punch in how much I want to buy?
Exactly so. So you get there, we are going to load, we are going to do what we call a quota system, where fishermen are going to be giving quotas for the month. You know, because it's a subsidized product, you can have it in as much as you want, because if you have so much and you don't know what you want to use it for, that is where the temptation is there for you to go and sell or divert and use it for other things other than fishing. There's also a phenomenon called light fishing, where it's against the fisheries laws, where fishermen put this premix fuel in their generators, which is also illegal. So, for example, a fisherman would need, let's say, about 2 drums to go for his fishing expedition, but because of this light fishing, he may need 4 drums, and all of this contributes to the many problems that we have. So without a card and without your quota, you will not be able to get the fuel. So we are working closely with Fisheries Commission. The registration has been done. We are vetting the list to make sure that we don't get people who are not fishermen to have these cards, to make sure we have a smooth process as far as this system is concerned.
Let me bring in Nana Jojo Solomon. Nana, so I mean, you are the ones who are the forefront of this, because you are the beneficiaries. Tell us, how has this really changed your operations?
Thank you. I think Nana Abakwa has said a lot of the goodies about the automation intervention. Yes, because we've been grappling with, people who are, sort of cashing in on the premix fuel, which is the sole prerogative of the artisanal fishers, both inland and marine, where you find people from all walks of life, all cashing in and making huge profits out of the product because of the heavy subsidy, like Nana rightly said. And therefore, fishermen are always complaining that we're not getting fuel. We have to end up buying fuel from X-Pump, like the regular pumps in town, and then we'll have to mix it and then find our way out there. And we intend to give what do you call it? We transfer the huge debts incurred to the consumer. Hence, the price of fish on the market is constantly escalating. So this has come as a game changer. But I also want us to veer on a precautionary side a little bit, because Nana is saying it as if it is the best of all things that has happened. But, these people are always coming up with also antidotes and stuff like that. So I don't think it is 100%. I want us to be cautious on how we are glorifying this thing and saying all the good things about it, because I don't want that maybe tomorrow we have people coming out to say that the machines have these problems here and there. But I think so far, through the demonstrations we've had and everything, it's kind of about 90% okay with that, which is perfect. You understand? Yeah. We're having issues with political sympathizers, party people, party functionaries, some MMDCs, you know, all in the name of protocol. Yes, it is our party. Yes, I am the president's rep here. Then you go there as a fisherman, you want to buy fuel, and tell you that, oh, they are serving the protocols first. This is MC, DC's drums. We are giving them 3-4 drums. When we finish, before we serve the fishermen, they serve about 2, 3, 4 canoes, and then the product is finished. I said, oh, wait a minute. I mean, what is this? You understand? We are having issues with some of the MMDCs, and at the right time, we'll come out. We are just observing how these machines are going to work. Okay. I'll come out with a list of some of these DCs and MMDCs who are cashing in on the premix to the detriment of the ordinary fisherman and the industry at large.
Are they still doing it now that the automation has started?
Oh, the automation has just started. I mean, it is starting with Almina. So far, it hasn't trickled down to many of the fishing communities or the landing sites. Okay. And very soon, I'm going to name some of the MMDCs because they are the core. Because if they in the leadership role do these things, then it gives the impetus for all others to also join. You understand? But I don't think that they are above the law. No, they are not.
So since it started in Elmina, tell us how the experience has been. What are the fishermen telling you?
Oh, it's fantastic. It's fantastic because even before the machines came, fishermen were doing fishermen in. It's ordinarily containers that were taking 70 gallons cannot even take 50 gallons now. Meaning that the buckets they were dispensing the fuel with were so tiny in the name of 1 gallon, and maybe it is about 3/4 of a gallon. Okay. So before you realize you bought 70 gallons and, you know, and the same gallon, when you take it out to the ordinary filling station, 50 gallons and it's full. So when these machines came and we kind of piloted it, we realized that, wow, 50 gallons and the containers are full. So the fishermen applauded it and they realized that, yes, if you hear any fisherman talking about anything ill about the machine, then he's one of the, you know, black marketeers.
Okay, I mean, and I'm sure this is joy to your ears that the fishermen have already started to say we are happy with it. Exactly. And if people complain, then they are one of the black marketeers. But what is the system that have been put in place to ensure that this system achieves its goal, that the black marketeers do not, get access to it or are not able to infiltrate even the system we are operating on?
Exactly. The system is such that we've put in a lot of controls in there. It also has a lot of adaptability functions. It's not it's very malleable. Okay. With a click of a button, you can even block a card. Okay. So if there are infractions, you're able to increase the quota, decrease the quota, etc. And right from my office, I'm able to even monitor what is happening in real time on the ground. MP is monitoring, the minister responsible is also monitoring. So there are checks and balances with regards to the system to make sure it's foolproof. Like he said, so far he rated it at 90%. I think it's not a bad score. We are now starting. Definitely there may be 1 or 2 hiccups as we are now starting. Some people would also resist change, especially like he said, there are some fishermen themselves. He emphasized a lot on the MMDCs, but there are also some fishermen who are also complicit in this game. There are people who are not even politicians, ordinary people on the streets. They also come and cash in. So the problem was a societal problem. It was a human problem, and I'm happy this system is going to eliminate the human interface and allow technology to be at the forefront. Okay. As we roll on the project, wherever there are problems or wherever there are loose ends, we'll make sure we tie them and make sure the system is efficient and transparent as possible.
Is it internet-based?
Yes, internet-based. Oh. Yes, but it's also able to work offline.
Okay. Exactly. Because I was going to talk about where places that,
it works offline as well. Okay. So that's how we looked at all the challenges and we make sure we design the system that will be able to adapt to the challenges that we have.
So they are at 50 landing beaches.
So far, out of the 300 landing beaches we have across the country, 50 sites have been completed.
So they are working now?
We just commissioned Elmina on Tuesday.
Okay.
So Elmina has started. The rest are going to begin from next week. All of them are going to be operational.
Or the 50?
They'll start. We'll roll it in phases. We want to take it. There are some places that have been constructed. We are just waiting for electricity to be connected. So I say some of them are 98% just waiting for electricity, some just waiting for water, etc. But out of the 350, I can say have passed 95% completion stage.
Nana, for you, now that the Premix Secretariat has done this to check corruption and diversion in these landing beaches, for the places where there are none of these machines, how do you think the Premix Secretariat can check diversion and, the corruption in the use of Premix?
Right, thank you. For us, I think with the Premix Secretariat, what they've done is that they formed a task force. So we will act on intelligence, we will act on complaints that come. We will immediately go there. I'm part of the task force as well, because I need to also ensure that my Ghanaian fishermen are comfortable and that they are putting value on the money that the taxpayer has offered. So, in fact, I'm very serious about it. Apart from that, I think that we're going to liaise with the secretariats so that at least if they are still doing the bucket type till the machines are ready, then we may have to also consult with Ghana Standard Authority. Get a standard bucket that, can dispense, the fuel equitably, you understand, so that nobody is cheated. Apart from that, I think, like you said, it's a societal thing, human beings are involved. But my emphasis is on the MMDC because, if they do it, then it gives everybody the right to do it as well, because they are supposed to be there to check the public purse. So, but if they are personally involved in these things, for me, I see it as a big problem. And thank God, at least if I'm not a lawyer, but I know that nobody's above the law here.
Okay.
So if you are an MMDC or whatnot, for me, I don't care. If we get hold of you, we'll name and shame you.
Okay.
That's the only way out.
All right, Nana. I mean, Abrakwa, you hit there. Main important thing is the standardization. How are you working towards that?
I think the ultimate solution is the system. We are racing against time. The Vice President has charged the Sector Minister, Honorable Mavis Howard Commission, to make sure that this is done as soon as possible. In fact, we should have finished all of this project as far back as last year. But of course, when the project started, there were some challenges along the way, land acquisition, etc. So hopefully by next year, we should finish everything. The bucket system, yes, you mentioned that we could get some standardized bucket, but realize that it may not solve the problem entirely. But like you said, as current as we have it now, in as much as we haven't rolled it out nationally, there are also systems in place. We are doing a lot of education, we are doing a lot of enforcement. If you look at RLI section 28, it talks about these offenses. If you are caught diverting fuel, you are caught selling fuel above the government's price, you'll be prosecuted. Some people have been jailed 2 years, some people have been fined, etc.
How many people have been jailed?
As far as I'm concerned, I think since I took over office, we've had about 5 people who have been jailed on this issue. Some have been fined. And it's happening. We even have cases in court as we speak now. So there's a lot of prosecution happening on the ground.
What's the level of these people that you've jailed them? Because usually the big fishes are sacrificed at the expense of the smaller fishes.
For me, sometimes I even think that the law as we have it now is not even punitive enough. Some of the fines, you realize that if you look at the level of infraction and you look at the fines that have been meted out to these people, I think sometimes they're not even punitive enough. But for me, I'm looking at how we can even stop the problem. That is where our mind should go to. It shouldn't even happen for us to go and fine. We spend so much money on enforcement. We spend so much money and time going to court. A judicial process, you'd have to go to court sometimes for 6 months, etc., only for someone to be fined, let's say, 2,000 cedis, 3,000 cedis, etc. So I think this system seeks to stop it entirely from happening, and that is what we are committed in doing.
Nana Jojo Solomon, last time a fisherman was telling me that the issue about Premix not coming to the landing beaches is still an issue that we grapple with. Is that a thing?
Sorry, come again.
I mean, I was asking about the availability of Premix. A fisherman was telling me that still they do grapple with the issue of no Premix fuel at the landing beach. And I'm asking whether, because you represent the fishermen, whether that is the case, and if that is it, what could probably be contributing to it?
Yes, like we said, there are a lot of leakages in the system. Leakages in the sense that Premix fuel, like I think the Honorable Minister said it on Tuesday, the day of the inauguration, that sometimes the fuel even doesn't get to the destination, doesn't get to the recipients. It finds its way somewhere. This card, I believe, is a game changer. But again, I also want to be precautionary because, you know, you think you've gone and come, somebody else gone and come and sleep. These people will never sleep. They will never rest on their horse. They will try to hack the system and everything. That's why I was telling them that you shouldn't let it sound that it is 100% foolproof thing for Ghanaians to say that today too, what is it about Premix? You understand? But I also do not want to be pessimistic. Believe that yes, this thing will go a long way to alleviating the problems that confront the ordinary fisherman. Previously, hitherto, we were doing 100 trucks in a week.
Okay.
And we're all getting it. Now we're doing about 250 trucks in a week, and the fishermen are not getting it. So what is it? But then intelligence is telling us that, look, the fuel finds its way in so many different places. So we have issue. We need to police the product from Tor. The Premix Secretariat, they have a monitoring equipment in the office. They must be up and doing, because that machine cannot sit in the office and still have issues with diversion. Otherwise, we'll name and shame them as well. Dona Broka, please hear me clear. And then, again, the Fisheries Commission, they are the sole agency producing the data for the canoes to assess these identification cards. So if we have duplication in the system, then they will name and shame them. Those officers on the job in question will bring them to book. Fortunately, I serve on the Fisheries Commission board as well. So I think I have some amount of locus to go into the way they develop the cards as well. So I am very serious about it, because fishermen have been, charged unlawfully. We have been disenfranchised. We have been, somebody comes to the landing beach and said, I'm constituency, this is my drone, send me before he said the fisherman. And then the fishermen who form the landing beach committees are afraid. So they will serve them. You understand? Nobody can stampede the system anymore. We are taking it from here.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
No, but that's serious there. Yes, you've brought a system to check all of that. But that's just 50 out of the 300 you mentioned. So it means we have 250 landing beaches that are still don't have the automation. And these things, like Nana is mentioning, if they are going on, that's serious. We are losing a lot of money.
Yes, like I said earlier on, we are actually racing against time.
No, so Nana, before, I know you want to bring the system, but as you race against time to install the systems at the 300 site, what are you doing in the interim to ensure that these things do not
So like
you
said rightly, we have task force that we've set across the country. Honorable Mr. Jojo Solomon himself is a member of the task force. He seems to want to name and shame everybody aside the fishermen themselves, who are sometimes also very complicit. Like I said, it's a societal problem, it's a human problem. So when he's naming and shaming, he should also remember the fishermen who form the landing beach committees. The chief fishermen are the chairmen of this landing beach committee systems. There are instances where even chief fishermen even connive with these middlemen and then sell and then make profits. So it is an entire system. We all have to make sure that we are up and doing, we are checking the system in as much as we wait for the rollout of all the 300 landing beaches. We engage with the law enforcement agencies. We make sure that we crack the whip where need be. There have been instances where we suspended landing beaches from receiving fuel because of some more practices that we have cited, etc. So we need to work more as we also push the technology forward.
Have you also thought about the remuneration of these coordinators as to be the contributory factor towards the diversion of this, and how you can tackle it from that angle as well?
I think they are well remunerated.
Really? I don't want to mention names, but you know, I'm from a coastal community, so I also do speak to some of them. I mean, the stories I hear, I mean, if you have someone like that serving as a coordinator and you pay them those amount, it serves as a window for them to then engage in some of these things.
For me, I think they are well remunerated. But you see, no matter how much you are paid, you should also look at the morality of the job that you are doing.
Okay.
There are times where we need to put our nation first. Nation building is a consensus effort. It takes the responsibility of everybody. We have to do our part. These coordinators would also have to do their part. So I think it doesn't give a reason or an excuse to perpetuate any illegality. There have been instances where people are paid thousands of cedis, they still end up committing some infractions. So I think it has to do with morality and doing what is right.
Okay.
And like Mr. Jojo Solomon said, we will not hesitate to crack the whip, we will not hesitate to name and shame. That is where we need to go from here. In as much as we are putting this technology in place, as we wait to roll out, anybody who is found corporate, because if you look at the LI, the sanctions are very clear, the laws are very clear. We will not hesitate to crack the whip on anybody who is found complicit in this game.
Nana Jojo mentioned 250 trucks a week.
Yes.
But still, some do not get to. So if you study, where do they get to? Because he said they get to other places.
I think he got the figures wrong a bit. We've also had some challenges. You know, this fuel issue is a global problem. It's not only a Ghanaian problem. If you look worldwide, last year, for example, you realize how fuel prices were skyrocketing. And I told you that governments puts in a lot of money into these subsidies. If you compare even the figures last year and the previous year, last year we couldn't lift as much as possible because of global economic difficulties, because the prices had doubled and quadrupled. The BDCs were struggling to even bring fuel into the country, and all of this affected our operations. TOR also had its fair share of its challenges. Just last year, 2 weeks, the president taxed TOR to fix some of the technical and operational challenges that they have. So until all that is fixed, some of these challenges will continue to fester. So we are looking at solving the problems holistically. Make sure TOR is working, make sure the BDCs are also working, make sure we also insulate them from forex losses, etc. So we are tackling the problem in entirety to make sure that at the end of the day, fishermen get the right amount of fuel to go for their fishing expedition.
Okay, thank you very much. Nana Solomon, before I let you go, your final words.
My final words is as simple as this. I am not holding brief for the Recalcitrant fishermen. No, I will never do that. Like he said, it's a societal thing, it's a human thing, and therefore, what we are saying is that we are going to name and shame. Currently, if you ask Nana Bwaka, I am supposed to be doing, some kind of work on a particular DC. I don't want to mention her name on air. And that, Nana, I've been calling you back and forth. If care is not taken, then I may have to divulge this in the public domain, which for me, I think is not good enough. So today, as early as possible, Nana, give me the audience. Let us deal with the problem with the DC and get things moving. Otherwise, we are also asking fishermen that, they should applaud the government. This is a government that has come to ensure that fishermen, are rightly supported. Look at the landing sites, the fishing harbors. Look at the mitigation measures like overcapacity. We are trying to establish a moratorium where, we will not accept any more canoes because of overcapacity and overfishing. We have the close season. All these things so that fishermen whose sole job that we've ever known is
to fish.
The marine capture fishery. which therefore we must protect.
Okay.
And therefore we must also applaud government for all these things, and then also make sure that the Premix Secretariat does a better job.
Sure. What has this DCE done? The one you don't want to mention the name, and why don't you want to mention the name? What has she done?
She's more than a one-man landing bridge committee member, and people from outside the jurisdiction come to take all the fuel and send them beyond the lake area.
Okay.
And then they go and do what they want at the instance of the DC. We've had complaints upon complaints, and those recipients, those who are supposed to have the premix, are not getting it at all.
Oh, okay.
And previously, the same person was taking 150 cedis from each fisherman before they are allowed to be served.
Oh.
And I asked her, I confronted her, and she said that she's the president's rep, and that she is developing her district with that kind of money. And I said, in Ghana, we do not run a federal system. You cannot do that. We all must think after all, there's an LI that governs the premix, the administration and the sale of the premix. So you alone as a DC cannot sit in your small corner and do otherwise. The fishermen come back to us and said, look, our colleagues next door go there and they buy their fuel and they go to sea. We have been asked to pay 150 cedis before we accept. And this same person, because nothing has been done to her, she's still doing, and then she's scaling up.
Okay.
She's scaling up.
Okay. Which region is this?
It's Greater Accra.
Greater Accra. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. I hear.
So you see how many women this is, and then we can narrow down on that.
Yeah, sure. And on one coastal district, then we can know who is doing that. What's the first name?
That would be too much information to divulge. I won't be fair to the person.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much. I'm grateful that you could join.
You're welcome.
Nana Jojo Solomon is President, Ghana National Canoe Fishermen Council. And Nana Abrako Asare is the Administrator of the Premix Secretariat. Thank you for coming.
Thank you too.
And I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
All right. This is still the AM show. We're going to take a quick break, but let me say a belated happy birthday. Okay, a belated birthday to Madam Abigail Donko, mother of one of our ladies here, Mary Gifty. Madam Abigail Donko is at Aboso Kai. So yesterday was your birthday. May God really bless you and your new age with great health, great everything. I mean, more money and joy as well. We'll take a break. We'll be back with more. Do stay with us. Right, so welcome back. Let's talk about the Ghana Publishing Company. What are they up to? What have they been doing all this while? And why is it even important that you and I will know what the company is all about? We've been joined by the Managing Director, David Asante Boateng. It's been a long time. I'm sure you heard of this man from the Let My Vote Count Alliance days till now. And I'm told there's something coming up in Nkoko, but what is it? I'll find out for you on the show today. Good morning, Dave. How are you?
Good morning and good to see you. Good to see you. We haven't been over here for some time now.
In a long while.
Yeah. Interestingly, we've been productively engaged and giving it life, and we succeeded. So I'm happy my appearance is on a good note.
Okay.
To share beautiful and success story of the state institution we have gladly transformed.
So you say you have transformed it. What have you been doing? What have you done, really?
Thank you so much. Let me say good morning to our viewers and good morning to the people of Ghana, and good morning to your very good self and to the crew over here for the awesome work you are doing to serve Mother Ghana. And of course, good morning to the people, my staff and management at the Ghana Publishing Company Limited. We have, over the last few years, chalked a few success stories that I think are worthy of sharing.
Okay.
After elections, it's time to govern. And within the governance sector, institutions are managed. And all these institutions have heads that we report to. The sector ministry, board of directors, giving policy direction to the agencies and institutions. My institution that we are in charge of, the Ghana Publishing Company Limited, is under the information ministry.
Okay.
We report directly to the information ministry, and of course, as a limited liability company with board of directors, the company was converted from a corporation to a limited liability company.
Which means you're a profit-making entity.
Absolutely, we are. We report to the board of directors, and then. But of course, the shares in the company are held in trust by the finance ministry. Of course, under the SIGA Act that was passed recently, the Act confers the shareholding right of state institutions that are even limited liability company like ours. So our shares are held in trust by the finance ministry, who represent the interest of the government under the SIGA Act and all that. So we do business at Ghana Publishing. We are expected to make profits. And after we make profit, we are expected to declare dividends to the finance ministry. I was lucky to be appointed by the President, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, to manage the institution in 2017 under the leadership of Dr. Mustafa Hamid, then the information minister, a very good friend, a big brother, currently the MPA boss. Now, when we assumed office, I remember Mustafa Hamid, doctor, gave me one advice and told me, David, you have a responsibility to transform this institution so that when the success story of the MPP government is being told, Ghana Publishing will be prominent in the transformation of this country. And I'm happy to sit here on this platform to announce that after being managing director of Ghana Publishing from 2017, 1st of September, up to date, today, we are able to say that the success stories we have had over the last few years are categorized under the following: quality enhancement, cost reduction, and of course, profit maximization. Now, the company has been in existence for close to 60 years. And it was enacted by an act of parliament that gives the power to the company under the 1992 constitution as the body responsible for doing what we call gazettes.
Okay.
If you want to change your name, Ghana Publishing is the constitutionally mandated body that passes the gazette. And the gazette is like a journal owned by the state. Act of Parliament that are passed within the 21 days of maturity period must be gazetted at the Ghana Publishing. And when Parliament brings the act and we gazette it, within the 21 days of its maturity, after it's gazetted and passed into law, then we sell the gazetted laws of Parliament.
Okay.
After we give the first 1,000 printed copies to Parliament for their internal distribution and consumption, then we market it to the public. So we hold the exclusive legal right to the parliamentary acts that are passed.
Do people buy?
Yes.
Really?
That's our mainstay. I mean,
people buy them?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, Parliament gives us the exclusive right, and the constitution of the country vests the power to gazette in the bosom of the Ghana Publishing, established by an act of Parliament. So the act of Parliament that are passed are not sold on the streets. They are sold only at Ghana Publishing. Parliament is not in the business of selling acts to make profit. Parliament is a subvented arm of government. So when Parliament makes the laws and pass them through Ghana Publishing, the constitutionally mandated body to pass them into law, after we gazette them, then we hold the exclusive right to market them.
Okay.
Now, we are not going to sit to consistently rely only on the publication and the sale of Act of Parliament. We need to diversify. Any moment from now, Parliament will decide to establish their own printing firm, and after they pass the laws, they will only come to Ghana Publishing and do what the Constitution confers on us, the Gazettes, and decide to take the business aspect and component from us. If they so desire to do that, we are knocked out of business.
Okay.
So what do? We needed to diversify. Beyond the Gazette, we are into commercial printing.
I see that one of your mission is to primarily print and publish.
Print and
very high quality books and stationery for educational institutions, government department, and the general public at competitive prices.
Absolutely. Competitive prices. Now, we, over the last few years, apart from concentrating on the constitutionally mandated role and core mandate of Gazettes, to also look at the area of printing. So, we print sensitive government documents. When Office of the President needs large volumes of confidential document printed like budgets, if you add 10 to a budget statement to be delivered by the finance minister as a private printing house, and on the day of delivery in Parliament, a figure is changed from what the finance minister is originally going to read as an allocated fund, because it landed in the hands of an unscrupulous printer. Then you would appreciate the sense of confidentiality therein lies in engaging potently the state printing firm. So now we get to the point where we must appreciate the fact that there was a lot of wisdom in state institutions, even printing ballot papers. But when I assumed office, I realized that previous elections, Ghana Publishing hadn't been actively involved in the printing of the ballot papers because of lack of capacity. The areas we wanted to concentrate our effort on has to do with equipping the company with sophisticated machines to be able to remain competitive in the printing industry, so that if you do your statutory mandate of gazetting and you get into the open market and we are to print 16 million copies of ballot sheets, and companies put in bids at the Electoral Commission, and Ghana Publishing also displays competence in executing this job, and you are given a part of the contract, you have the machines, you have the human resource capacity, you have the skills, you have the technical expertise and all that to execute. We tested our potency in the year 2016. I mean in the year 2020. I assumed office in 2017. I had the opportunity to embark on aggressive infrastructure reforms. I also got the support of management, the board of directors, sector minister, very phenomenal group of leaders. We came together, and the first point was to embark on aggressive infrastructure drive. The company was in a mess. There is a video we have documented, and we call it Publishing Then and Publishing Now. Maybe later I'll get a copy for you. So we looked at the infrastructure, the physical outlook of the company. The very property that Ghana Publishing sits on the Barnes Road, and the 3-story building had been leased to a private investor.
The infrastructure was for the state.
It's for the state. Part of it.
But it had been leased.
Had been leased
for
to
what?
A bank. Okay. Then was called Royal Bank. Okay. Now under the Consolidated Bank.
Yeah.
So that is how the company had sunk before we assumed office. We looked at infrastructure. We invested heavily in machines. And after that, we invited the Electoral Commission to come and take a tour at the facility to convince themselves of our ability to deliver quality printing job of those sensitive security documents. Of course, ballot papers are classified as security documents. Okay. So there was the need for the Electoral Commission as part of the processes involved in the selection of companies to embark on the printing of the ballot papers. And to the utmost surprise and total dismay of the Electoral Commission, they arrived at our premises, saw the machines, saw our capacity, the human resource we displayed. In a matter of 1 hour of touring the company, they realized we had acquired new machines. The infrastructure had changed. Now, when we are printing ballot papers, the political parties deploy their reps to sit by the machine to monitor the process. Because of the security nature of elections in this country, the whole process is also monitored by the security services, the police, the BNI. So it's a heavy process. We were lucky to have printed ballot papers for the 2020 election. And for me, this is a clear testament of how we had then successfully transformed the company from one point to another. Now, it didn't end there. The essence of leadership is to provide a sense of direction. After we invest in human resource development and build the capacity of our staff, enhance their capacity and their skill sets are enhanced, we empowered young men and women to quickly embark on skills training and development. We sponsored some people to quickly go and do their masters in other related fields which are directly beneficial to the company. Finally, to our agencies that we report to the finance ministry, after the accounting and finance year comes to an end, 31st December, and our books are put together and given to an external auditor appointed by the Auditor General, there comes the responsibility of auditing our books to determine how management have led the company. And I'm happy to announce to you that in 2022, last year, after this year our accounts were audited, the Ghana Publishing Company Limited made profits.
Of how much?
I may not be able to put the figures on air, off head, but the bottom line is, we lifted the company from a company whose asset had been floated on the capital market and sold, and others put on divestiture implementation program and sold. Others had been rented. Properties of the company had been sold. Others rented through the divestiture implementation project and program and all that. But if today, as we speak presently, the Ghana Publishing Company Limited is a profit-making entity. The Ghana Publishing Company Limited, I was in Switzerland in 2019 with our sector minister, where we had the opportunity to tour a facility in Germany and Switzerland called KBA Notasis. They exposed us to what we call proper security printing, the highest level of printing, banknotes, the highest level, banknotes, currency, checkbooks. Now, we got to a certain point where, by the grace of God and through quality leadership from our sector ministers and board of directors and management of the company, we were able to position the company on a certain pedestal where it became attractive for foreign investors to express interest in a joint venture with us to get into security printing. And that landed us in Switzerland for about 2 trips and also Germany for 2 trips, where our sector minister succeeded in getting cabinet approval for Ghana Publishing to go into security printing.
So are you now
this is a company that was struggling to pay the salary of its staff.
So are you now into security printing?
Now, a state institution like Ghana Publishing is signing an MOU with a foreign multinational to get into a joint venture, a build, operate, and transfer agreement, or a build, finance, and operate, and manage, and all these things call for a lot of collaboration. The procurement processes, the statutory processes, and all that takes a little bit of time. But the most important thing that we needed to clear as a hurdle was the cabinet approval, which our sector minister has successfully secured for us. So we are in the process, the procurement process, because it has an international dimension, maybe the successful company that tendered in application and bid to be considered, and who will win the bid likely could be a foreign company, and that gives the whole procurement process another dimension which looks a bit complex. However, we are still in the process. So the point I'm trying to...
Since when did this start?
I think the approval...
2019, right?
Yes, the whole process started, the external visits and all the collaboration.
And this is 2023, 4 years. So you've still not been through with the process.
It is very difficult to get a company to come on board with over $20 to $40 million worth of investment in a company owned by the state, where the government of Ghana is not ready to give any form of sovereign guarantee, any form of letter of comfort, because the company is strictly owned by the state. However, the state is not ready to invest any form of equity apart from our land and maybe the business opportunity that we rely on as a state institution responsible for the printing of government documents.
So this venture would let you print money or just checkbooks?
We are at the point of discussing what is the level of security printing the company will venture into. We came out and got the services of a consultant who published the adverts, and in the publication we stated security printing. So when we invited bids from companies, we are venturing into security printing. So finally, if the proposals come and the committee sits on it, the company that is likely to get into a joint venture with Ghana Publishing, depending on the quality of machines you come to Ghana Publishing with, then we decide our machines are potent enough to go into currency printing. We have the international certification by virtue of the machines and the levels you have brought. Then we discuss that. Don't forget, Ghana prints close to 400,000 passports every year. The booklets.
Yeah.
The passport booklet alone. We do about 400 to 450,000 booklets per annum. If a state institution like Ghana Publishing is giving this contract internally to print, the degrees we award in our various universities, quite sensitive documents.
Okay.
Checkbooks. There are private individuals who own printing firms that are into this business, but the government itself can get actively involved in this whole printing.
But mustn't we first decide on what type of security printing we want to do to then influence our choice of a company to partner?
Now what happens is that in the procurement process and in detailing out the quality of service, we are expected to mention security levels. Security printing levels. Security printing level 1, security printing level 2, security printing level 3. The procurement laws does not give you the luxury to determine. It's like going to buy a car. The public procurement law and the act that passes the law tells you you do not have to mention the brand of car you are going to buy, but the service.
So the process we are working on now,
Absolutely.
Which level have you chosen?
Now,
security
we are looking at the security printing at the highest level. But eventually, there are 3-4 companies that have put in bids. Finally, if the committee certain on the proposals, look into the proposals, and then the PPA sets a committee to get into the proposals presented. And then finally, it comes out that the company that wins the bid and the tender to partner Ghana Publishing has the capacity to do this kind of printing. And we apply for international licenses and clearance, and we can do to that level. I'm not too sure about currency printing. Of course, that's a different level of discussion. But basically,
passport printing
looking
and all
at
of that.
Printing that goes to the highest level of security, not necessarily currency. That may be a different level of discussion. So the point is, if we have been able to manage the company from the level where we took it, and as it stands currently, we have the capacity to venture into a joint venture agreement with international bodies that would display capacity to do the highest level of security printing. I think we are going somewhere. Now we are making profits. And then the board of directors will decide how much is the profit. Is it good enough for us to declare dividend after we make profit to the shareholders, the finance ministry, or we are re-injecting the profit into the expansion of the company? Now that brings me to another level of the discussion.
I'll let you go on, but since you took over, is this the first year you are declaring profit?
No, we made losses in a few of the instances, but we declared profit. I think 2018 there was profit because I managed the institution from 2017. I think the next year, 2018, there was profit, and in the COVID era, 2020, 2021, those were difficult times. And you know, COVID and printing were so directly correlated because our raw material, paper, is imported from China. COVID. So for 2 years, you couldn't even get paper to print. And who will embark on commercial printing when schools were on hold? So really, institutions that suffered a lot within the COVID and then of course even the post-COVID. Ghana Publishing, not Ghana Publishing per se, but the printing and publishing industries were equally not spared. So those years were difficult for us as well. And subsequently 2021, 2022, those have been good years. And I'm speaking specifically to the year 2022, last year. We made some good profit. I'm hoping that this year, when our accounts are audited for next year, we would also have something good and significant to show. And as we speak now, we are aggressively embarking on nationwide expansion of Ghana Publishing.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, Ghana Publishing Company Limited had branches all over the nation. We had regional branches in Northern Region, in Tamale. We even had branches off the main premises we are operating currently on the Banks Road. We have the fishing harbor. The last time I chanced on a document that says that we had about 4.5 acres of land in Tema Fishing Harbor where the production site of Ghana Publishing was. And then we had one on the Christianborg Highway. Now, all these properties were put on divestiture and sold.
Okay.
So as we speak now, the whole of the Ghana Publishing Company Limited sits on about 2.5 acre property opposite Accra City Hotel, just after Accra Polytechnic. And that is the only office the company has. All the regional offices have been sold under the divestiture implementation program. Now, the board of directors gave us approval and management has commenced the re-establishment of regional offices and branches of the Ghana Publishing. We did a trend analysis of our stream of income, and we concluded at management level that a huge chunk of our business opportunities are coming from Ashanti region and the 3 northern regions put together. So we started the establishment of the first regional office under our management in Ashanti region. Over the last 6 months, I think this whole program was started in the year 2019, 2020. We got the board approval to start the regional branches. We started a feasibility study in 2021 after COVID, stakeholder engagement, getting the property from SIC in Kumasi. So as we speak now, we are hoping that within the year 2023, as we speak, we are hoping that before the year ends, we will inaugurate the Ashanti Regional Branch of Ghana Publishing. I've had the opportunity to visit the place, the progress going on so far. It looks so okay. We are in touch with our board of directors and the sector minister. We are hoping to set a date, and before the year ends, we're looking at November, we shall go and do a proper inauguration of the first regional office and branch of Ghana Publishing after the company was virtually brought on its knees.
And once it has happened before that the regional offices were diversified, what measures are you putting in place to ensure that it doesn't reoccur?
Political parties come to office to govern based on ideologies. There are instances where managers of the company believe if the company is not doing well, sell it off. When we assumed office at Ghana Publishing, we believed that with prudent management of the resources, we should be able to manage the company well and even establish more branches. I do not think the MPP as a political tradition believe in the principle, run down a state institution to its knees and sell it to cronies. That is not what we believe in. And we as managers of state institutions under this administration have potently manifested and demonstrated this particular position. I can speak on authority to institutions like the State Housing. You and I will agree. These are state institutions that are bringing potent transformation to the face of management and leadership. I can speak to authorities like Nana Komien's STC. A lot is happening under the management of these institutions. So I'm speaking from our political traditions point of view. We manage state institutions well. We don't run the institutions down to sell it off. Ghana Publishing is a classical example.
So is that your strategy?
One of the strategies we as a government are putting in place is the revamping of state institutions that were formerly down.
Yes, and I'm asking, what is the strategy to ensure that the situation when these ones were collapsed don't reoccur?
You see, I remember when we inaugurated our new machines and a new production unit at Ghana Publishing, our Sector Minister, the Honorable Kojo Ponkrumah, made a statement. He says, inaugurating the new machines and the new production unit is good, but sustainability, maintenance culture is equally important. But again, you will agree with me, I will not be the managing director of Ghana Publishing forever. Subsequent managers and leaders have the responsibility to take it from where we left off to another level.
But a good leader is the one who leaves the company or the institution in the care of another leader.
Now, this is where
he does.
This is where the point comes in. The few times I get the opportunity to discuss the success story of Ghana Publishing, I don't lose sight of the contribution of management and staff. The right thinking. The right thinking. If I take leave for 2 weeks and I leave the office should not grind to a halt because the managing director is on leave. We have equipped the human resource component of the company such that we have 5 directors of the company. Over the last 5 years or 6 years, the directors that I came to meet turned 60, they went on retirement. We got the opportunity to recruit fresh men and women. We have never in the history of Ghana Publishing had an IT department. Today, we have an IT directorate. So all the services of Ghana Publishing are digitalized. Now, when you come to Ghana Publishing and you want to do Gazette, we don't go through the regular processes of rendering the service. We have built an IT infrastructure that acts as a server and a backup system so that all the services we deliver are stored. So if you do Gazette and you change your name today, after 5 years under our leadership, when you come back, we don't need to print and reproduce. Now, when the embassies get application for people who have changed their name to travel, traditionally they write to us for confirmation. Now, we are going to give the embassies a limited access to our central database for them to electronically check and access the authenticity of the Gazette you have presented to confirm your identity. So, after we do all these things, the systems we have built internally will have the responsibility to internally act as control mechanisms. So either we are in or not, we have built the human resource capacity of the staff. We have built the company infrastructure, and it must be self-sustaining, even when we live to become MP of Nkoko.
That brings me to politics then. But since you are excited about the profit that you're making, so you should have been able to tell us how much you've made. But you've still not told us.
You know, some of this information, you need board clearance before you come.
Okay. All right.
Before you come in, you know.
That is
but you
fine.
see, the streams of income at Ghana Publishing was one of the first things we looked at. Where do we get our money from? How do we control it so that there are no leakages? We introduced electronic payment system. We introduced just even a simple mobile money payment system. Now we are developing what we call e-Gazette, electronic Gazette. We do what we call paperless Gazette. Our services are now paperless. We don't fill forms, we don't write forms. Everything is digitalized now. Now we are going beyond digitalization and we are going into electronic service delivered. So if I want to change my name after I marry from Miss to Mrs., all I have to do is I go to the Commissioner of Oath and swear the affidavit and upload the affidavit on my phone, send it to the Ghana Publishing portal, pay electronically, and after 4 working days, the Gazette is delivered to me electronically. That's e-Gazette. So the comfort with which you make the payment online is such that you pay directly into the company's ADB account. The managing director does not sit in his office for sales to be carried from farm store to me. Before the next day, we bank it. Revenue control mechanisms. This is what we did, and in a period of 3 years, we were able to cut down wastages and we're able to internally generate funds to buy new machines, to go to Kumasi, to establish new regional branches, even though previous managers rather sold the asset of the company. So you get the difference.
And you pay your workers now, yes?
Of course. We are strictly an IGF company. Recently, in this year, we have implemented a 20% salary review for the staff.
Okay.
That's what we have done. We took over a company that was paying its first degree holders something around 950 cedis in 2017. Very difficult. However, with the support of the board and the sector minister, we are gradually gravitating the company to a point where salaries will be very okay. So we're doing it incrementally, looking at our sales projection, looking at our operational costs internally, then we decide. We do a proper analysis of our streams of income to determine our ability to pay.
So how much did you pay your first degree holders?
I must check the records to know how much the previous month's salary were, because...
But you mentioned the 800 and 900. You should be able to tell us a range now.
Yeah, but that was then. But currently, as we speak, last year we introduced about 17.5% pay rise. This year we have done 20% pay rise. And don't forget, salaries are increased incrementally based on ability to pay. And the institution Ghana Publishing is one of the heavily unionized organizations. If you study the history of the company, it's a heavily unionized organization. So wage and salary negotiations are done annually with the union. Board of directors give approval. We, as the managers of the company, have the responsibility to look at our income stream. Every year, how much do we generate internally? Because we are not on subvention. We have close to 300 staff. You must do business to generate your own resources, to pay the 250 staff, pay statutory deductions, make profits, go to establish new regional offices, buy new machines. So really, you see the grace coming.
Yeah.
You see the grace.
I mean, that's why you were appointed. So,
we are paid to think,
exactly.
And we are doing exactly that.
So with the next ballot printing, how many are you expecting to? And this is my last question on there. Then we go to Nkoko.
When the Electoral Commission advertises the work for printing of ballot papers, of course the EC have their own internal arrangement to determine which publishing or printing house gets which region.
Okay.
If we have our own way, with the new machines we have acquired, with the capacity we have delivered to our staff through training and development, and with our current dispensation and disposition, if even the Electoral Commission gives us the 16 million ballot papers,
you can print.
We can deliver.
Okay.
However, there are private individuals who express interest in this venture. Of course, it will be very unfair for state institutions to take all the jobs. But we will appear very competitive when we tender our bid. We will display competencies through our machines and equipment and human capacity and all that. And after that, we'll make a case at the Electoral Commission's bidding table to get a good chunk, so that the state will get actively involved in the execution of this contract, and then we'll get more money. And when we do, we will reinvest it in the company. Because from Kumasi Ashanti region, we are going to Western region next year to establish another regional office.
Okay.
That is what MPP does when we are in government.
I hear.
We manage better.
I hear. A marking scheme will be done by Ghanaians.
By Ghanaians.
In 2024. But you look so confident of winning in Nkoko. Why is that?
Well, I needed to say good morning to my people in Nkoko and Kwewu watching me. I am sure the good people of Nkoko, I tried once, it didn't work. I did not win. That was my first time of trying. I am looking forward to trying again when the party gives clearance for us to express interest in the contest. And I am saying it in all modesty and humility that the good people of Nkoko will look at how well we have served at the national level, and at the local level, how well we have served the people of Nkoko and Kwewu. And they will look at these factors and then give me the opportunity to represent them at the highest level in Parliament. The essence of leadership is to give direction. When I go to Nkoko and I meet my clansmen, this is the simple message I tell them. The President, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, expressed confidence in my ability to lead and manage a state institution. I can speak confidently. We have no failed over there. I think this gives me a proper dispensation to appeal to the people of Nkoko in all humility. Give me the opportunity, and I'm sure they will. I will not fail them.
Yeah.
I will not fail them.
Okay. If you say you won't fail them, we'll look forward to the time when we'll bring you in the studio and ask you, you said I will not fail them, but here we are. I have to go for a break. But just in a minute, if you can tell me what would form, the basis of attainment for as an MP for Nkoko, such that when you go contrary, we can say that based on that you failed.
The people respond to development. As humans as we are, parliamentarians, according to the 1992 Constitution, have a responsibility to go there to enact laws. But after you go there to enact laws, you are a representative of the people that voted for you. Their welfare, their skills development, their human resource needs must be prioritized. That is how come constituents are expecting to see you every weekend when you are not in parliament. Listen to their needs. If there is an opportunity, bring some and let the people know their representative over there brought opportunities down there. That is all that they are looking forward to. Come down, meet them, listen to them. If there are opportunities, give some to them. People graduate from universities, and after that, they expect that when there are opportunities in town, give them some. The social capital with which political opportunities are distributed is directly correlated to the kind of MP you put in parliament. I'll repeat that. There is a direct correlation between the opportunities in government and the quality of member of parliament you put in parliament.
Okay.
Some MPs have the ability to lobby and get better and bigger opportunities than others. So, look around you. The quality of MP you put in parliament, does he have the social connection and the social capacity and ability to lobby well so that the central kick, when it's being distributed,
you get your fair share. Okay.
Because every nation is limited in resources. So your ability to lobby and pull better will determine what you bring onto your constituents who voted for you. Okay. Some parliamentarians have been there and have not seen development in their constituencies for decades. Some went there in one term and they are doing magic. So I repeat, there is a direct correlation between the outcome you derive from your MP you put in parliament and the opportunities that are shared in government.
Okay.
So the people have a choice to choose well. And I can say in all modesty and in all humility, having been with my people in Nkoko over the last few years, they will look at my commitment level in the party, they will look at my contribution in government, and they will look at the closeness I've established with them over the last decades, and they will give me the opportunity to serve their interests.
Confident of winning?
And I will not fail them.
Okay. You will not fail them.
But in the delivery of the leadership, you have to win the election first.
Yeah.
I'm more passionate about winning the election. In spite of all the brilliant plans you have, if you don't win the election, you can't get the opportunity to govern and to bring these opportunities. So we'll be fine.
So your prayer is that you win.
We'll be fine.
When you win your primaries, I'll bring you here to find out from you. Then you give us, blueprint of what would underline your leadership of Nkoko. But all the best to you. I wish you all the best in this journey.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Let's see how this goes. So that's the MD of the Ghana Publishing Company, David Asante. Thank you for coming. Yeah, and I wish you all the best. This one says it is the birthday of quiz mistress of the National Science and Maths Quiz. She is also the Dean of the School of Engineering Sciences at the University of Ghana, Professor Elsie Efa Kaufman. You are 54 years today, and we say God bless you. This is coming from your lovely mother, Grace Efa, and from all of us at Joy. Well, we'll take a quick break. When we return, we have the Mampong Technical College of Education, MamTech, in the house. We know that when it comes to technology education, there's a lot that they're doing, and that's we're going to find out how it's shaping Ghana's educational landscape. So don't go away, stay with us. Have a good day. All right, so welcome again. This time around, let's talk about technical education in Ghana. We're talking about Mampong Technical College of Education, Mamtech. I love the name Mamtech. It's like mommy and technology. We're going to learn about how Mamtech is shaping Ghana's educational landscape. And I have been joined in the studio by Madam Perpetual Emma Jemfi. She is Vice Principal of the college. She's here with me. I also have Samuel Opokun. He is the college secretary. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Good morning.
Trust all is well?
You're doing great.
Let me start with you, Madam Emma. How has been the contribution of, Mamtech to Ghana's human resource base?
Thank you so much. I'll say that Mamtech has been training technical teachers for the juniors high schools.
Okay.
So everywhere you go in Ghana, you will find Mampong Technical College of Education, all students teaching technical and vocational education at the junior high schools. Apart from that, we have some who have been in other fields, some professors in the universities, some engineers doing and helping the nation. So we have contributed a lot, especially to the teaching and learning of our country.
How many years has it been since you were established?
For the past 100 years.
Hey,
it was one
a century.
Yes, please.
Wow. Hey, this one I don't even qualify here to interview Mamtech because my school is not, half of yours, eh?
Yeah.
100 years.
100 years, and that is why we are here.
Wow.
To celebrate it.
Oh, so you're celebrating a century.
Yes,
oh, this is incredible. A technical school.
Yes, please.
And what's the focus now? Yes, I know we have many technical schools, but everybody and its specialization. What is the specialty of Mamtech?
Yes, from our name, our mandate is into TVET education. So we teach technical skills, drawing, both engineering and construction. We teach visual arts, agric home economics, mathematics, ICT, and science, science mathematics.
Okay.
So that is TVET education. That's our mandate for the junior high schools.
Okay. And is there an evaluation the school does to really understand the sort of impact it is having, your product having out there?
Yes, from time to time, we know that most of the students who go out there to teach technical education, the school heads testify that they are the best.
Okay. All right, Ms. Obogu, so what is the activities, or what are the activities marking the 100 years anniversary celebration of your school?
Thank you very much. Let me say good morning to your viewers. Thank you for having us here. Yeah, let me say that the college was established. Let me give you a brief historical perspective of the college.
Okay.
Because we are 100 years, that is why we are here. Yeah, the college was established in the year 1922 by the then colonial administration under the governorship of Sir Frederick Gordon Gagisberg. It was established as Asante Mampong Junior Trade School.
Okay.
Then, since then, the college has been focused on providing technical and vocational education. From the trade school, it later became a Boster Institute, what we call the Boys Correction Home. Then, during the outbreak of the Second World War, 1941 to 1945, it became an army camp where they engaged in training, and they were even manufacturing basic military equipment to supply the Gold Coast colony, and British soldiers who were fighting the war. Then it came back to government trade school. Then it moved to Handicraft Technical Teachers Institute. Okay. Then we came back to Mampong Technical Teachers College. Then in 2007, up to date, then the government upgraded all teacher training institutions to tertiary status, and that we became Mampong Technical College of Education. So all these years, the college has been focused on providing technical vocational education. Okay. So if you look at the mandate from 1922 up to date, you see that the college has been very focused in providing technical vocational education. So we were 100 years last year, that's 2022. Yes. So we started with the unveiling of the anniversary logo. Then we did the launch of the program. Then other activities, clean up. We've had all activities. Public lecture, we just had public lecture just last week. There'll be float. We did clean up exercise. We went on float. Now, I think our major task is on this Saturday. We're going to have the Grand Derby to clamor the whole anniversary celebration. Okay. Yes. So that is where our focus is. But this Friday, tomorrow, there will be a float. We go through Mampong Township, go and do a float. After that, in the evening, there will be Jama night, where the old students, everybody will be coming, and there will be Jama in the evening. And Saturday, we'll have the Grand Derby, where we are expecting the President of the Republic, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, to be there. Dasipro Sebonsu, the second Mampong Hene, will be the special the guest of honor. Okay. Yes. And we've invited all the dignitaries. So that is where we are.
So this is like the homecoming of teachers.
Yes. Great.
And the Obedo.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So that's that. But with your 100th anniversary, what are you looking at achieving? At the end of the day, what would you say we did with our 100th anniversary?
Yeah, thank you very much. The focus of the project for the 100th anniversary of the centenary is construction of a 3,005 capacity ultra-modern auditorium.
Oh, wow.
Let me say that we have a little challenge as a college. We did not have assembly hall. We initially used a technical workshop as an assembly hall. But recently, the government retooled the college. We were supplied with a lot of equipment, and the technical, metal, electronics, wood. We were given a lot of equipment. So we had to put the machines at that workshop. So that's where we were having our programs. Okay. So let me say, the college does not have auditorium where we hold programs. So, you know, as a tertiary institution, we require an auditorium. So that is why we took the auditorium project as the main focus for this centenary celebration. Okay. So that is our main project, auditorium. Construct an auditorium, ultra-modern auditorium, befitting a tertiary institution.
So what has been the steps in getting it constructed? Advice? Are we writing to companies to come together, or all students to come together to help it constructed?
Yes, we've written to companies, a lot of them, and we are hoping that they will come. We are also asking the old students who have benefited from the college to come home and support their alma mater. Okay. We are calling on parents of students who have passed through the college, as well as current, to also come and support us to put up this befitting edifice for the college.
You know, now the world has moved on, we use technology as a means of even coming together and even helping causes. So aside coming physically, are there digital means by which someone listening to us now can even contribute towards the construction?
Yes, please. We have a Momo account.
Okay.
But it's not here at the moment. And we can still get it. We have a Momo account.
Okay.
And all our activities are also on YouTube and Twitter, MTC official. And I'm sure the Momo account will be there. Okay. So they can also contribute.
Very well, but I would let you put across the Momo so that if your student or anybody is watching us and wants to contribute, they can do that. So if you can put it across, I'll be happy.
Yes, please. We'll have to get it.
Okay, all right, that is fine. So we'll get that for our viewers so that they can, follow up on it. Yeah. So we are saying that the gathering is Friday.
Saturday 9.
I mean, we are starting with the German night.
Yes.
The German night, the German night. Tomorrow, Friday.
Okay.
Friday. But in the daytime, in the morning, there'll be a float.
Okay.
We'll go through Mampon Township, as I earlier mentioned. Then in the evening, we are expecting the old students to join the current students. Okay. So that there'll be Jama competition, Jama night. So the whole night, then we will not sleep. Jama night. I know, Mamtek is known for its prowess in Jama.
Oh,
yeah.
I never knew.
Oh, the Love FM organizer, old school. We are always first. When it comes to Jama, I'm surprised we are not aware of it.
Oh, okay.
Yes, we are into it. Yeah.
The great Mamtek.
Yes. So we call our men the Mura.
Okay.
The Mura is a group, Mura men. Yeah. So Friday in the evening there will be the Mura and the Jama competition. Then, as I said, Saturday at the college field, we'll have the grand debate to climax the activities marking our centenary. So we are inviting, as Madam said, the general public, the old students, as alumni, philanthropists, all stakeholders, and all well-meaning Ghanaians, Mampon Township, Asanteman Ghanaians, to come and help a worthy cause.
Okay.
Construction of 3,005 capacity ultra-modern auditorium for Mampon Technical College of Education. Great Mamtech. This is our clarion call.
Okay. 100 years is not an easy journey. What about the student population?
It's about 1,700, a little over.
Is it increasing or it's decreasing over the years?
Let me say, with that one is sometimes it increases and sometimes it decreases. Sometimes we are regulated by the number of students that we take. Okay. We cannot just admit because of limited spaces. For College of Education, you are not allowed to rent your own private residence.
Okay.
All students must be housed. And now the college moved from diploma to degree. Now 4 cohorts, 4-year groups. So you cannot admit students when you cannot accommodate them. So we are challenged with the number of students that we can admit. Yes, how the infrastructure can take. That is what we take. So yeah, that's why we are 1,007 now.
Okay.
Student population.
So it means that if someone who wants to be a teacher in the technical, areas, the choice should be Mamtech.
It is the leading technical teacher training college in Ghana, and let me say West Africa.
Okay.
Our vision is clear: a top-notch technical, vocational education and training institution. And our vision, our mission is just to provide accessible, inclusive, high-quality technical and vocational teacher education that engages contemporary research, technologies, and fosters critical inquiry. So Mamtech over the years, if you go to any JHS in Ghana and you see a teacher teaching technical skills, then it is Mamtech product. We are, over the years we have been training teachers so that if at the end of the year, if Mamtech is training 500 students, you go to other colleagues that are doing technical, maybe 2 or 5 students.
Oh, okay.
So if you talk about the leading technical college of education in Ghana, and West Africa is MAMTech. Yes. It's a leading technical college of education in Ghana.
Okay, I'm happy to hear that you spoke about the tooling.
Retooling.
You have the tools.
Yes.
To teach, to practically teach your teachers.
Yes. Block laying, metals, electronics. When we come to the college, we use smart boards.
Okay.
Smart boards. You need to smart board. That's what we use to teach. Yes, smart board. Just press, fixing. If the teacher have something to present, you don't need an innate projector or whatever. You just slot in your device and the board. Just teach. Very interactive. Yes. So it has been retooled. College has been retooled. Yes. But as I said, a major challenge is the auditorium. The expansion of other infrastructural facilities.
Okay.
We are urging the government and other stakeholders to come to the aid of the college.
Right. So this is still the AM show. We are on with MAMTech, the Mampong Technical College of Education. They are celebrating 100 years since the establishment of the school, and they are calling on old students as well as the general public to help them put up a 3,500-seater auditorium. Yeah, right?
Yes.
An auditorium. The event is coming up Saturday as the Grand Deba. You need to be there. The president will be there. They will also be there. And they are calling on all of us to help the school put up this building. They have a Momo account. I'll try and get that number and share it so that even if you are not able to go, you can still contribute your quota to the construction of this ultra-modern auditorium. 8:45 after 9 a.m. here on the show. We're just about wrapping up, but what is your expectation of tomorrow and Saturday?
Tomorrow and Saturday, I expect that all our alumni will come to college. They should come home and support their alma mater to enjoy the anniversary celebration. Invite their parents and all good wishing community members of the whole country to come and support the occasion. So we expect everybody to be there tomorrow and on Saturday.
On Saturday. That's the wish of Madam Perpetual Emma Jamfi, Vice Principal of the Mampong Technical College of Education. Let me go to the College Secretary, Samuel Opoku. Yes.
Thank you very much. Let me take the opportunity to express my warmest felicitation to Dasibro Sebonsu, the second Mampong, with the guest of honor. Ohineba Uswefriye the fourth, Utumfu Apajahine, Council Chairman, and members of Council. Our principal, Mrs. Doris Boachiansa, the woman who is steering the affairs of the college, which is wholly all men. I think this is why we didn't tell you. The college is wholly men.
Oh, okay.
All men institution.
Headed by
headed by a woman, and the vice is also a woman. Members of convocation, the staff, they are all watching us. Let me commend our staff. All the staff, artisans, laborers, administrative staff, cooks, accounts, everybody is working and everybody is making sure that the event becomes successful. So we are grateful as management to all staff for this, and we are entreating each and everyone, students, the alumni, Mampong Township, everybody, to come this Saturday, 9th, to support a worthy cause. We are grateful to everybody. Thank you very much.
All right. All the best to you, and I wish you, a success-filled 100 more years ahead of you. So this is your 101 year, and you're celebrating your 100th year, since the establishment. All the best to you.
Thank you.
So that Samuel Opoku is the College Secretary of the Mampong Technical College of Education, and you also heard Madam Perpetual Emma Jamfi. She is Vice Principal of the college. We'll take a quick break from here. When we return, we'll be wrapping up on the show. But before then, a belated happy birthday to Mrs. Janet Dako. We wish you all the blessings of this life. Yesterday was your birthday, and your sister, your child, your sweet daughter Linda Dako was all over this place celebrating you. So, Mommy, Janet Dako, and I saw sweet videos of yourself and how you were celebrating it. So, a belated birthday to you. I'm told you are also at Abose Okai. Do have a great day, Mommy, wherever you are. Well, this is the AM show. We'll take a break. We'll be back. All right, so it's been, a roller coaster morning, and I'm grateful that you could stay with us all throughout. On behalf of the wonderful team, I say thank you for being a part of it. But before I go, a belated birthday to our mother, Mrs. Janet Dako. Yesterday was your birthday, and your daughter, Linda Dako, was all over this place with, wishing you all the best. And I saw lovely videos of yourself, dancing to the glory of God. So, Mommy, Mrs. Janet Dako, blessed belated birthday to you. May your life be filled with joy and happiness and all of the things that you wish for. And that God answers the prayers of your children concerning your life. Mrs. Janet Dako, a blessed new age to you. You are at Ablikuma Fan Milk. I'm told that's where you do your business. So, Mommy, Janet Dako, this is from your daughter, Linda Dako, and all of us here at Joy News. And on behalf of the team, I say thank you for watching us today. We'll meet again, God willing, tomorrow. Namomi answer I'm calling, and I say, Yelawasi Kanya Wale, Midem de Kanyamana Kangamdi Moye. Nyamneza ya dumia eshin see ya wakashi na ya ligana nkomo to it. Say like God says, we'll meet again tomorrow by the grace of God so that we can talk about Ghana. I said it in my own language, in a hunter. Well, thank you for being a part of us. News Desk is up next. We'll meet again, God willing, tomorrow. Until then, please be good. Good morning.